A little later this afternoon here on Sky Sports from a sold-out St Helens, we'll bring you the latest instalment of a rugby league rivalry that began back in 1895. That first meeting at Nosey Road got this inter-town competition up and running. And here we are, 369 games later, looking forward to the next chapter in this sporting conflict. Welcome to Rivals Round in the Betfred Super League. And while Saints and Wigan can historically lay claim to the original derby description, the title of greatest rivalry has a significant challenger. Over in the East Riding of Yorkshire, on days like this, a great sporting city is divided by its rugby league colours. Shortly here on Sky Sports, you'll experience the full force of the clash of the east and west sides of Hull as KR and FC open up our Good Friday double-header. Yes, good afternoon and welcome to a sunny St Helens. Delighted to have your company here on Sky Sports for this marquee occasion in the Super League calendar. And I'm delighted to welcome alongside me, pitchside here at St Helens, John Wilkin and Sam Tompkins. A empty St Helens at the moment, but it will be a sellout come kick-off at 3 o'clock. We've got the opening to the season, we've got Magic Weekend, we've got playoffs, we've got the grand final, Easter weekend. Good Friday in particular is right up there.
Yeah, I'd put it just behind the Grand Final and the Challenge Cup Final. You know, as a player, it's something you look forward to. Rivals round, Easter weekend, it's huge. When someone says Good Friday, you don't think about anything around Easter. You're thinking about rugby league, and that's what everyone in this stadium and over in Hull will be thinking today.
Yeah, a special day in both these towns and over in the city of Hull.
Yeah, huge derby day. Funny story, Kyle Amer was telling us in the car park, his lads at school, they had an RE lesson, and they said, why is Good Friday significant? He said, Wigan and Saints, innit? I mean, if that's not a summary of how much this means in this part of the world, but also in Hull as well.
Yeah, a bit of work to do in that primary school. OK, what's at stake for both of the sides? Well, of course, bragging rights, 2 competition points, and for the winner in the Saints-Wigan game, a place at the top of the table. Last night, Leeds, with that victory over the Castleford Tigers, jumped over Hull KR, who currently sit in 6th. Their opposition today, Hull FC, sitting in a lowly 10th and with plenty of problems. So, Leeds getting Rivals Round underway with a 26-6 victory over Castleford at the Jungle, scoreless at a half-time, and maybe, just maybe, you thought Craig Lingard's side would record their first victory of the season. It wasn't to be. After today's 2 games, tomorrow we bring you another doubleheader on Sky Sports. The Catalan Dragons visiting current table toppers Warrington, and Lee taking on Salford. Sunday, the round ends over at London with the Huddersfield Giants coming to town. Well, so far so good in season 2024 for the Robins, with a Challenge Cup quarter-final spot secured. Their focus returns to a Super League campaign that has returned 3 wins and a couple of narrow defeats to the Rhinos and the Wolves. Their quest to match or improve upon last year's 4th place finish got underway in round 1 with a demolition job on their foes of well over a century. Well, that 22-0 defeat rattled Hull FC, and they haven't shown signs of recovery since. 1 win all season, and that against the bottom-of-the-table Broncos. The Black and Whites will be praying that in this derby game, form does indeed go out the window. Yes, as I said, a sellout here at St Helens. This stadium will be packed come 3 o'clock kickoff here on Sky Sports. Let's go to a stadium that has sold out as well and should be much fuller. We can go to our commentary team over at Sewell Group Craven Park. Standing by for us are John Wells, and we'll say good afternoon to Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Brian. At Derby Day here in Hull, what an atmosphere it is here at Craven Park this afternoon. Really looking forward to it. Rovers big odds on to win this one, but is it that simple, John Wells?
Well, no, it's certainly not. I mean, the way that Hull FC have started the campaign, I think the Robins are going to expect a reaction. But we must start with the atmosphere here. What a fantastic place to come. It is a cauldron of noise and colour. And Craven Park separated, of course, from the MKM by only 3 miles as the crow flies, but worlds apart in terms of their 2024 form. The Robins, they have been tight defensively, including 2 complete shutouts so far in both competitions this year. Hull FC have leaked 100+ points in the last 2 defeats. So we know where the improvements need to come from.
Willie Peters is saying that, you know, he's aware that this is a perfect chance for Hull to kick-start their season.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hull FC will look at the last 3 derby results, which they've only managed to score a cumulative 16 points. They need to start. They've brought in Franklin Pele, Jack Ashworth, Herman Sasa to punch holes in opposition defences. For me, it's about time they got down to business, because they need a platform to play off. If they do that, then they've got half a chance today. But Hull KR, I feel they think they will have a fitness edge over the black and whites. They want to keep this ball in play, get them into the grind, pull them into the grind, and then they think they've got the fitness to finish off.
So a big day here then at Craven Park. Will Rovers do the double over Hull? We'll find out. Kicks off at 12:30.
Our thanks to Del Boy and a man dressed for the heavy woolen derby, John Wells. Let's talk about Hull FC. We'll get into Hull KR a little later on. Your assessment of their season so far, just one win in League and Cup, dumped out. I mean, spectacularly in terms of a scoreline of the Challenge Cup last weekend as well. Sum up what you've seen from them.
They've been disappointing. I think round 1 set the tone for them. You know, they were heavily beaten by a good Robin side, and from there, even the one victory they've got was almost bad news, because it was a win against London Broncos that haven't won yet. They had to score in the last minute to scrape a win, so even the one win wasn't actually good news. So for Hull FC, there's pressure to turn it round, because it's going to be a long season if they continue as they are.
And in difficult times, you look for positive points in defeat, and it's even hard to see those.
Yeah, I don't think there's any positives come out of Hull FC this year. I think defensively they've been atrocious. They've shown a real lack of effort and intent with how they've defended, and with the ball they just look blunt. You know, they sit 10th in the table. They look every bit 10th best in the competition, and you know, I just can't see a way where they could ever challenge to get in the playoffs with the current crop of players that they've got.
Would Jake Truman make a big difference?
I don't think so. You look at the ease that Lee Leopard scored some of the tries against them, and it was amateurish defending, and as a player and as a team, you'd never want to be questioned on your desire, but it looks like to me Hull FC in some games they've given up.
OK, they've had their desire questions, and there's been questions about their coach, which has led to the remarkable scene when Super League's most experienced coach, Tony Smith, has basically come out in the papers and laid his medals or his achievements out on a table, saying that he has turned clubs around in the past, he can do it again, his boss, Adam Pearson, knows that and is fully sticking behind him. But the fact that Tony felt the need to come out and say this...
Yeah, look, I think rolling his CV out, he's obviously got a wealth of experience. I've been at a number of clubs that have been in difficult circumstances. But you're right, the most telling thing is the need for a coach to actually come out and put all the details of what is your glittering CV out there. That speaks to me of a little bit of insecurity, an amount of pressure that he'll certainly be under, and maybe a divided fan base who are unsure whether Tony Smith might be the right man, he might not be. But when it comes to the crunch, he's the man who gets scrutinised and criticised. Whether the squad's right or not, the coach ultimately is culpable.
A remarkable coaching record so far. Is he under pressure?
Yeah, I think there's an amount of pressure on him, you know, because they've not started well the first 5 rounds of the league. But I think the reason he's gone out there and said, look at my CV, is this is a man that's coached nearly 650 games. He doesn't want to be judged on the last 5, does he? You know, he's done a lot in the game. He has turned teams round. He has won things. He's been right up there at the top and believes he can still do it.
Well, they're the views of John Wilkin and Sam Tompkins. We asked the Hull FC fans, is Tony Smith to turn this around? Should he be given time?
He's got to be given time. We've got a very young squad, and he's proved it before over clubs.
No. I think the game's progressed past his knowledge, unfortunately.
He's just got the experience in the Super League, so yeah, I really do think he's got the experience for it.
Yeah, he's turned loads of other clubs around, so I think he can do it for us as well.
Well, when he first come, I did, but not at the moment, no.
I don't think the players have had enough time together as a whole to be able to play the way they want to play. I think after a couple of games, if the full squad gets to play together, I think we'll start kicking on.
Yeah, I think on balance, that snapshot poll from the Hull FC fans would say give Tony Smith more time. Here is the man himself with Danica Preem.
You've asked for patience whilst you rebuild. What is it the fans want to see, do you think?
Oh, just a united effort. You know, it's just being all on the same page at the same time. It's you know, when you get put under pressure, sometimes you try separately instead of trying in the same vein, in the same ways with each other. But, you know, that's pressure. We've just got to handle the pressure and work our way through it and learn and get tougher and work harder.
And Tony, you've coached enough derbies to know that form goes out of the window on days like today. What is the key message to your players?
Oh yeah, it's just a must against these guys, and you know, whether we're in good form or they're in good form doesn't really matter. It's down to the day, and you know, we've got an opportunity here to get ourselves going, and we need to do that. You know, we need to focus on us and what we need to do today.
Thanks, Tony. Go well today.
Thank you.
Yeah, takes charge of games 648 today. He's got a 61% win percentage across all his games, but just 34% win rate at Hull FC. But this game, as we've said before and we'll say many times today, will count for so much more than a win against anybody else. Should he win today, and of course they are underdogs, it will not just buy him a huge amount of time, but it could transform a season that to many seems hopeless.
Well, it's an opportunity for Hull FC, isn't it, to get some good news out of their camp for the first time this year, and it's the best stage to do it. Good Friday against Hull KR were flying high. Like, they'd love to clip the Robins' wings, wouldn't they, here today? You can imagine that would be a huge boost for the club and for Tony Smith. You know, we keep saying form goes out the window. I sort of disagree. I disagree. I think the energy and the atmosphere can bring Hull FC up to a level, but they're carrying into this a real severe lack of confidence, a lack of collective effort, which Tony Smith's referenced there. And it's what a stage to get that back on track. It's difficult.
Too scarred, maybe, says John Wilkin.
No, I think what Hull FC have got, they've got this massive opportunity. They need a catalyst. They need something to break the trend that they've set the season off with. They've been disappointing week after week after week. Now, if there is a chance to completely turn that round, then this is it. This is it today. And I do think, you know, form goes out the window. I do believe that. It doesn't go for 80 minutes. They've still got to take opportunities. They've still got to play well for 80 minutes.
Personnel-wise, can you see a catalyst in that 17?
No, I think the signings they've brought two big middles in. You know, we see him on here in Pele. They've done nothing since they've arrived.
Well, he's got suspended a couple of times, yeah.
I think he's been suspended more than he's played. So, you know, the new signings, New Brown, he's not come up with a lot, but he's a quick, he's elusive player. We've just not seen the best of him. This is where he needs to stand up.
He has as well, New Brown shuffled between three positions, hooker in the halves and as loose forward, and that maybe is an indication of the problems Hull FC have faced. No such issues for Hull KR, just a couple of defeats in Super League so far this season, so you'd imagine going into this derby match their coach Willie Peters would be confident. Here he is with Danica.
Willie Peters, you think Good Friday and you think Hull Derby. How important is this fixture in the calendar?
Yeah, it's extremely important. You know, any time you play a derby game, obviously the fans, we know when it's on. It's come around again pretty quickly. Obviously, we played them a few weeks ago, but it's exciting. We're back at home, so really looking forward to it.
And you mentioned 7 weeks ago you went without conceding a point. Is that the aim for today, and how do you do that?
Oh, look, it's something you'd love to do every week, but it's difficult to do. You know, we just want to play well, put in a good performance, and you know, we pride ourselves in our defence, so nothing changes there. And you know, they're gonna come out ready to go today, so we're expecting a different FC side, but we'll focus on our defence like we always do, and focus on what we can control.
In a sense, is his job made a little bit more difficult because of the perceived gap between the two sides at the moment?
Yes, I think the hardest games to prep for when you were playing were the games where there was just an assumption you'd win. I remember playing Catalan Dragons 2007 Cup final, and it was almost a given that we were going to win that game. And I went into that with fear, because you're almost in a no-win situation. But Willie Peters, I think, said something really telling in his interview there. His side is built on something, right? And for him, it's his defence. And I think they've galvanised behind defence and the way that they defend together. And going into a big game like this, if you're defending well, you're just a chance. And then you throw in the stardust to some of their key players. And that's what makes Hull KR exciting, not the glamorous stuff, how they defend for each other.
It's a good point, because even in the defeats, it gives you a chance. And there's been nothing in the defeats as well. When they've lost, it's lost by narrow margins.
Yeah, they've lost by 2 points and 6 points in the two games that they lost. They'd still take massive positives from it. I think the way that this Hull KR team has transformed over the last 2-3 seasons into a really consistent, solid side, because before that, I think Hull KR was seen as, you know, they can be really good one day, really poor the other, but I think on the back of the defence, they've been able to build that consistency. And now every team knows when they play Hull KR, especially over at their home ground, it's going to be a battle.
And do you know the difference for me between Hull KR and Hull FC? It's Mikey Lewis, but I'm not saying Mikey Lewis as a player. I'm saying the concept of Mikey Lewis. A young guy from the area who is a guaranteed starter in your team, who's going to be a consistent fixture in that team for 12, 15 years, like Sam Tomkins was at Wigan. And you build your team around him. And I just don't think Hull FC, since Richard Horne, since Kirk Yeeman, have ever really had that local homegrown presence.
Do you need that?
I just think it adds so much. James Roby, St Helens, Danny Maguire,
Catalan Dragons, Sam Tompkins.
Yeah, but they're exceptions. You're doing that one example that disproves the rule. What I'm saying is, it is an incredible asset to have somebody so passionate about the team that he plays for from the local area who can inspire and motivate young people who are watching to become him. And that's what Sam did at Wigan. That's what James Roby did at St Helens. And I don't think Hull have had that player to excite the fans for a long time.
Well, after going through his head injury protocol, returned to play after he missed a Cup sixth-round game against Salford. Mikey Lewis is back in the Super League competition and back to torment Hull FC.
Players like Mike don't come around too often. He's got an ability where, you know, you can't coach certain things that he can do. It's just, it's either in you or it's not.
As that who to Sounds, Lewis with it. What a kick that is! Lewis! With a touch of genius!
Mike, he's cheeky.
I'll finish this in 2 darts.
You watching?
There we go.
There we go.
There we go, look. Easy. Don't challenge me, because I'll win.
Now then, lad, you all right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm good, mate. You?
Let's go have a look inside there.
Hey, see how many trophies you won?
I started when I was 5. Fiona, who runs this place, she was very welcoming since I was a young kid, all the family, and I've been here ever since till I signed academy at City of Hull. And memories was just, the good times where you used to have with your mates, when finish training on a cold Saturday and you run into here just for a bacon sandwich. I was born in West Hull, all my family was Hull FC, so I was a Hull FC fan when I was growing up, and I'm not afraid to say that because it is what it is.
But make no mistake, this is the hottest ticket in town.
What an atmosphere, the passion, the colour, and some real noise.
It divides families, your mates. It's massive for the whole city.
I think growing up, obviously Mike is he's still West Hull now, but growing up you're just born to it, Hull KR. That's how I remember it anyways, and obviously growing up now, both playing he's playing for KR now, but yeah, it's definitely, you can tell the hatred and the banter between both clubs.
As his tackle gets the ball away, it's brilliant from Lewis! He's done it again! And he is box office.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Like, with your brother and that, they still support FC, don't they?
Yeah.
And, like, Owen, Mikey's brother, he supports FC still.
Yeah, son will be there in his FC kit.
Yeah,
giving Mikey...
Slagging his brother
Give him a bit of stick.
Yeah. That'll be fun, yeah.
His dad's the biggest KR fan there is now anyways, so loves it in that Craven Street, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Craven Street East End, my dad's always there.
I love it, mate. Drags you in, Rovers. It's great. Yeah. I'm there in the East Stand, like, giving it. Well, they're like,
spoke about it.
Yeah, I'm there, giving it all and
causing trouble.
Yeah.
See the stewards when I'm playing. There's no one getting dragged down.
Yeah. There's a big crowd over there, and Dad's in the middle.
Yeah, Dad's in the middle.
I only wanted a burger.
Mikey Lewis and Mikey Lewis! He's got it again, and he's got a hat-trick. Mikey Lewis! Mate, has written himself into Derby folklore here.
Yeah, obviously we know that Mikey's, he lives in the West Side. We know how committed he is to our club, but we have a laugh and a joke about it, but definitely committed to us, and he's a red and white now, and whether his family are or not, I don't know, but he's definitely a red and white.
Do you know what? I want both full teams to do well.
That's not the right answer.
I know it's not, but it's just avoiding the answer.
I am, because Mikey plays.
Yeah, I'll back Mikey.
On a derby day?
110%.
Yes, course I'm Rovers.
110% back Mikey. I've seen what he's gone through, from where he's come from to what he's gone through and what Rovers have done for him. Yeah,
so you're a Rovers fan?
I support Rovers, of course I do.
Yeah.
That was the answer.
Go a long way back.
Just some windows don't get put through.
For me, I'm lucky to pull the OKR shirt on to do a job for the East Hull side of Hull, and I'm proud to do that.
Well, if you want an indication of what a derby day can do to a family in the city of Hull, that is it.
Oh, it's glorious. It's glorious. I just love the reluctance of his dad to actually admit that he supported Hull KR. That's how much it divides households. His son's playing, and it took his dad 5 minutes to twig that actually today he wants his son's team to win.
And he had his fingers crossed. Mikey Lewis, from a young age, you've been impressed by him?
Yeah, impressed. One of the first games I played against Mikey, he was still this cocky, flamboyant player. And I
Sounds
remember
familiar.
It does. And I remember actually saying to him, you need to stop believing your own hype in the game. He was giving it, and you know, we were winning the game by 20 points, and he was still giving people stick. And
That's
I said,
you, though.
It is. But I said, you need to stop believing your own hype. Well, I now fully believe the hype, because since then he's gone on proven time and time again in big moments, big games, that he's one of the best players in Super League.
Yeah, transformational for Mikey Lewis was his international debut at the end of the year. Now, the confidence he's brought into 2024 is exponential, and he's turned petulance into performance, and that's the difference with Mikey Lewis this time round.
Okay, but let's talk about his functional role in the halves, and we've talked about this. We talked about it in round one. What Willie Peters has asked him to do is maybe be a bit more of a controlling half. I want to put into that conversation Tyrone May, and particularly what stood out for me is last tackle plays, kicking the ball. Tyrone seems to get the ball in his hands and then decide, I've got to put a kick in. Doesn't seem to be a man that wants to organise play. Can Mikey do that?
I think Mikey has to, because I know that Tyrone will not, and that's not the way he plays. You know, I played with Tyrone last year with Mitchell Pearce, and basically it was Mitchell Pearce gets the ball. When he doesn't want it, give it to Tyrone, because that's the kind of play. He almost looks like he's not bothered as he's playing.
Doesn't he?
He just floats. He floats around the field. The ball comes to his hands. Okay, comes up with something. Might be a kick, might be a run, whatever it is. But he's generally pretty good. Now, my question would be, in a real tough game, whether it be a playoff game, a semi-final of a Challenge Cup, are they going to need a controlling halfback? Now, that responsibility firmly falls on Mikey Lewis, and that's a part to his game that's probably got to develop. We all know the tries he can score. We know that he can, you know, create something from nothing, but can he control a team and guide a team round when, you know, you're in a tough game? It might be, you know, 0-0, it might be 6-4, something, you know, when you've got to be controlling. You can't just depend on one-off little bits of skill that both these players can do.
Well, today might not be a day that partnership gets questioned, and when it's going good, Tyrone May and Mikey Lewis, well, they're as devastating as a half-back combination as you will see in Super League. It's an expectant crowd in the east side of Hull. What goes through the minds of the black and white supporters? We've got the first half on the way from Rivals round of the Betfred Super League here on Sky Sports after this. Welcome to the intra-city rivalry in World Rugby League. Two clubs that have been going at each other since 1899 and who will be more than happy to keep going for another 125 years or so. It's meeting number 245 between Hull KR and Hull FC. And as ever, when the pair tangle, there is so much more than two Super League competition points at stake. Let's look at the 17s. Hull KR's last outing was a 6th round Challenge Cup win over Salford, 40 points to 0, and they make just one change. The 17-man squad, Oliver Gildar taken from the field and currently going through head injury assessment, return to play protocols. So Tom Opachik comes into the starting lineup to replace him. Jez Litton returns to hooker, having deputised for the absent Mikey Lewis in that Challenge Cup game. Mikey, of course, is back from his HIA enforced absence. Well, Hull FC lost in the Challenge Cup 50 points to 6 against Huddersfield. It'll be forced into a number of changes to that 17 for coach Tony Smith. Cameron Scott moves from the pack back into the centre positions. New Brown switches once more from hooker to half-back. as Hull continue to try and mitigate the absence of Jake Truman, who we believe might be about 7 weeks off returning from a long-term injury absence. Nick Staveley misses out, so Jaden Ockenbohr starts, returning from suspensions are Jack Ashworth and once again Franklin Pele. Danny Houghton extends his Derby appearance record to an incredible 40. Oh, Mikey Lewis is one of 18 players to have scored a Derby hat-trick, and all eyes will be on him. We'll keep a close eye on Tex Hoy as well. In a Hull FC side struggling for creativity, he may be the man to break open this game. 8 Super League Derby wins apiece over in the east side of Hull. And the east side of Hull have been in mourning this week as one of their greatest ever players, and indeed arguably the finest running second row forward the game of rugby league has ever seen, Phil Lowe, passed away. He made over 400 appearances for the club, scoring 179 tries. What a legend, John Wilkin and Sam Tompkins. What a mark he left, not just on the club of Hull KR, but on the game of rugby league.
Yeah, huge influence upon me as a young man. Had a kind word for me at the start of my career. Exceptional human.
An exceptional human who's going to be remembered by everybody as a legend of the sport, and supporters from both sides of the city have been asked to unite behind a true legend of the city and conducting a minute's applause in memory of Phil Lowe. They will be piped out to the tune of Abide With Me. Again, we've said it before, Sam Tompkins, the game does this in such a fashion that we're all very proud of how they salute the greats that have come before.
Yeah, that's something unique about our sport of rugby league. You know, we're very proud of the history of it. The players have played a huge part in it. And, you know, Hull KR are the same as every other club, you know, in supporting a legend.
Times like this remind me, we've all been fortunate enough to play, that we stand on the shoulders of giants, like Phil Lowe.
Absolutely. You know, trailblazers and people like Phil Lowe, Len Casey, Roger Millward, iconic players from that Hull KR team. On the other side of the city, let's not forget James Luluai, Steve Norton, some unbelievable talent in the city, and a fantastic moment to recognise Phil Lowe's contribution to our beautiful sport.
Yeah, probably second only to the remarkable Roger Millward as the greatest ever player that Hull KR have seen, and he's a man who made an impact both here with Hull KR and down under with Manly, where he will never, ever be forgotten. Well, this city that's split on long rugby league lines is united at moments like this. And some glowing tributes came from Hull FC to the great Phil Lowe during the week. And today, as I said, supporters from both sides have been asked to unite and show their recognition for the career and life of the great Phil Lowe. On the referee's whistle, all here, this sold out Sewell Group Craven Park will engage in a minute's applause to salute a man whose contribution to the game of rugby league in front of his family here today will never, ever be forgotten. A Challenge Cup winner with Hull KR, a Grand Final winner with Manly Down Under, and of course a World Cup winner with Great Britain. As we go over to John Wells and Mark Wilson, we can say this latest instalment of Hull KR and Hull FC will be played in the shadow of a rugby league giant. Mark.
Welcome along. Thanks, Brian. What an atmosphere here ahead of the 245th Hull derby. Will there be more delight for Hull Kingston Rovers, or will Hull cause a big upset here? Just had a spine-tingling tribute to the great Phil Lowe ahead of kick-off. But now it's time for the Super League action to begin. Derby day here in Hull. Rivals round continues. And it's Hull KR against Hull FC. John Wells, what a tribute that was ahead of kick-off to the great, the legendary Phil Lowe.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about how this was a cauldron. Noise, sound, smells, sights, and everything else. Well, you could hear a pin drop. Before you joined our coverage, there was some archive footage played out from the great man who made over 400 appearances for the Robins back in the day, won every honour in the game, and rightly respected in the best possible manner.
Rovers looking to build on a promising start to their campaign. And Jez Litton on his 100th Rovers appearance kicks downfield. McIntosh got that wrong. It will bobble towards the try line. And here comes the chase. And that's a good first set from the Robins.
Well, it was a good first set because the bit of indecision there between Texoy and Daniel McIntosh. Hull FC they have to start well in this game. And those sorts of loose moments need to be few and far between if they want to grab any kind of foothold today.
Just one win so far for the Black and Whites. They were nilled on the opening round of the season by the Robins. He's here forward. Oh, big collision goes in there. Batchelor it was who was bounced off. Last one, they're just short of the 40. Smith's going to kick downfield. He's kicking into a strong breeze. That kick just holds up. It's caught on the full. And the Robins have the first advantage. Tackle one outside their own 40.
Really, really excited to see how Niall Evalds goes today. Started the season on the wing, if you remember. Moved to fullback. Petr Hickel reverted to the centre. I think as a result, they've got a much more well-balanced side. And Evalds himself, very, very good runner of the football. Developed a really good passing game as well later in his career. Excited to see what they can put together in attack.
Yeah, Sue with a big carry. Whitbread is hit hard. Ockenbaugh, that's an offload. It was batted down by Hull. The referee, oh, that's going to be a knock-on. Well, that was fairly played at by Hull. They got the ball back, but they couldn't take it in. So the Robins are going to get a real attacking chance here.
Yeah, attempted offload. Liggy Sowers initially batted it back, but then there's a Hull FC hand in there that's knocked on, and that's going to be Robins' ball.
You got called on the 10 metres there.
Not the start that the Black and Whites wanted. Not the start that the fans were looking for.
Please, boys. Wait, heads in tight. Hands over.
Mikey Lewis back after that head knock that ruled him out last week. And here the ball goes to Evalds.
Move now! Up and square. Hold.
Lewis and at dummy half. Hadley carries forward against his former team. Great opportunity here. The sunshine in the pitch certainly looks drier than in recent weeks here. There's a ball back on the angle by Whitbread. Good carry from him.
Hold, Tex, come on.
Can the Robins find their attacking flow early on here? May, ball over the top, but it's over the top of the winger and into touch. There maybe was an opportunity, but the timing of the pass was not on.
Yeah, just overcooked by Tyrone May. The idea is right. They've got some really good shape, really deep, but you can see the winger tucked in there, and it's just gone over the head of Burgess.
Play the ball.
But the positions they're taking up in attack, the depth and shape they've got, you know, that's going to cause issues for the edge defenders for Hull FC. We know they've not been up to snuff so far this season.
Well, they've had two big defeats coming into this one, but as Willie Peters has said in the build-up, this is a perfect chance for the Black and Whites to kickstart their season. Houghton gets it away. Straight down the middle. The atmosphere was building here around about 3-4 hours before the kickoff. Another big collision. Nice little offload there from the Black and Whites. Here's New Brown. He's tackled just short of the halfway line.
Move!
And Danny Houghton waits to play the ball. Gets it away to Smith. Smith will get it away to Hoy. Hoy challenges the line, but is brought down. And this will be the last tackle for the Black and Whites. They won here last season. And Smith goes high. Again, the wind gets hold of that, causing problems at the back. Well taken again by Evalds. You just wonder there, the Hull player maybe could have played at that ball.
Yeah, Lingy Sow got himself in the vicinity, didn't he? But Evalds has done really well to claim that.
But again, they're starting early in their tackle count up towards the 40-metre line already. All the pressure you feel on the black and whites, and Tony Smith coming into this one. As the ball now works its way to Lewis, who finds Hadley. Wrestles his way over the halfway line. Brett was impressed following his move from Wakefield in the close season. Nice one. Lewis going to go to the sky. He will put it up high. Hoy's got the sun in his eyes here on his own line. Takes it nicely. Evades one, but tackle just outside his own 10.
Yeah, another very competitive set from Hull KR. You talked about Whitbread. He's, I think, exactly the sort of recruit they needed to bring in. You know, they had guys there. You look at the likes of Dean Hadley, for example, straight up and down, hard-nosed. George King, I think you add another one to that. I think it really makes them a formidable outfit.
Hold. Got 3.
Well, they've got to clear their own end of the field, and they'll try and do that with Sal.
4. Move tie.
Real opportunities for the black and whites to get forward yet. Good tackle round the legs, last one, and they're only 30 off their own line. They do get a quick play of the ball. Here's Smith, will advance and then kick downfield. That's a decent kick, in fairness. He's found the grass. The bounce so kind for the Robins, and Burgess, who's played in 3 of the last 4, will bring it forward. And once again, they're 30 metres or more away from their own line on tackle 1.
Yeah, and we spoke, didn't we, pre-game about the size that Hull FC had recruited in SASA. Jack Ashworth and Franklin Pele. When SASA is taking a 4th carry and just gets chopped down, these guys have got to be over the advantage line and punching holes. They need to be direct, shorten up, and really gain some momentum, because they cannot continue to kick off the back foot.
Check with a good carry. A little bit of a feeling out process early on. May gets it away to Batchelor. 5 over halfway. 5th tackle. Robins looking to boot to ball. They're going to go high towards the try line. Hoy's going to let this go, and the wind there, you just saw, got behind Lewis' kick, and it was far too deep in the end.
Yeah, there is a south to north breeze, quite considerable breeze. Once it gets above the level of the stand, the ball can really get taken. And it's a 7 tackle set as a result, but crucially against the set defensive line.
Twice already this season, the Robins have nilled opponents. Fearsome defence. And Hull FC have not exactly been ripping up trees with ball in hand, but can they create something here as they bring the ball forward? Up the middle they go. Sue with a tackle. And a veteran of many a derby gets it away to Ashworth. Not the best pass. It goes behind. Sauer's going to lose ground. Look at the defence there from the Robins on that far side. Burgess quick to seize the opportunity. And Hull at the moment, you mentioned it, John, they've got no go forward at all.
Well, Danny Houghton's getting out of the ruck and taking a couple of steps. I mean, he'd be better off just serving an SASA or an Ashworth straight off the deck over that advantage line.
It was a better carry. Get them back to halfway. Here goes Smith again. Again, he'll go high. Again, the kick will hold on the wind. Again, Evalds will come and catch it. Makes it look easy, Evalds. Looks at home. So he should. He's played lots and lots of games at full-back.
Yeah, and he's a confidence player as well, is Niall Evalds. Gets a couple of early touches. He can really find himself involved in the game. Really fit, as I said before, really well-balanced runner, as is Jez Litton, who's been a menace for teams over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, 18 appearances for Hull. Now he's made 100 for Hull KR. As Hall comes forward, he's well met. 40 out from the line. Play the ball for Litton. Gets it to Minchella. Minchella for May. They've got numbers here. Evalds will slip it away. I think that caught a whole hand, and it needed to as well. Otherwise, the Robins would have been in. That's twice they've gone to that side, John, and twice they've looked threatening.
Yeah, they've got such great shape and depth, and it's forcing early movement from the edges. It's Lewis Martin who gets in. It's the right decision from Martin. He just catches the hand on the way through. He does enough there to disrupt the attacking play, but they'll have to defend another set of 6. And that's the danger you've got when you play deep and you've got shape and options. You're as a centre or as a winger, you saw it last night with the Cassava Tigers getting pulled out of shape. been forced to make decisions, and invariably the margin for error there is vastly reduced.
Lewis ducks under one challenge and he's still going here, and eventually Scott will drag into the turf. Juggled and lost, so Hull's defence forces an error. Here now is McIntosh. Brings it in field, so Robbins come up with the error 10 minutes in.
That was a really good shot from Jordan Lane. Got in underneath the ball and dislodged. And that's a better carry from Lingy Sao. He's showing the way forward. Yes, good second contact there from number 15, Jordan Lane.
Here's SASA. Jumps off Litton. Tackle just short of halfway. Houghton to Smith. Smith to Brown. Here goes Hoy. Tries to run it himself. He did have options outside in there, but held on to it. Tex Hoy. At fullback for the last two before today. As Houghton scoops out a dummy half. Pinches some meters downfield. Ball here now with Brown. Brown gets it away to Smith. Bumps off May. This is the furthest downfield the black and whites have been. What can they produce on this last tackle? They'll go to New Brown. He's going to hoist up the kick. Tester at the back. Evalds and Burgess coming for it. Burgess collects it. Great catch, Burgess.
Good take from Burgess, but I like the patient play from Hull FC as well. They've been another punt early on, and they've got to complete a set and put a ball in a corner. Shorten up this defensive line now and apply some pressure. That's what they need to do next.
Here's Hall, carries it forward. Brown gets to him, but holds off Brown. Ryan Hall just fall behind Danny Maguire. Quick play of the ball for Litton. He had support with it. Couldn't find Lewis. But the Robins already looking lively. This May now goes straight through the guts. Gets it away to Lewis. Support on his inside for Niall Evalds. First try of Derby Day. And it goes away to the Robins. A 99 Super League try for Niall Evalds. And Robins lead by 4 points to 0.
And it's great work in the build-up from Tyrone May. He sees an overread at the base of the ruck. The marker jumps out. I think he's spooked by the presence of Mikey Lewis on that short side. The gap opens up. He takes a stride through, sees Mikey Lewis on the other side, and then, like all good fullbacks should, supporting and putting themselves in some space and giving the ball carrier an option. It's a great opening try. Take a look at this. Just that little bit of overread from New Brown. Gets in behind, ball to Mikey Lewis, draws Tex Hoy, who can do very little about that. And Niall Evalds owns the scoring for the Robins on the home patch. It's clever stuff, is that, from Tyrone May. We know Mikey Lewis is going to be a real target for defensive players, but that's naive from New Brown. He's not taking care of where the threat is. The threat is the ball. You get told that from a very young age. And it's just that little bit of deception. And then Mikey Lewis is into the backfield. And Niall Evalds, a guy we've already spoken about, back in his favoured position, and he's opened the scoring.
Jez Litton looking to add the extras here then.
I'll help you if you need it here, boys.
Had some woes, didn't they, on the opening round at the MKM with a goal kicking, but Jez Litton has done a pretty competent job. And there's a high success probability here. Sends it on the way. Well, we've jinxed him. That was a poor kick from Litton. And it remains the Robins 4, Hull 0.
Yeah, it's the one element of the 2024 season they've not got right, is it? A nominated #1 goal kicker after the departure of Jordan Abdul. But I tell you what, it's a lovely piece of play. Lovely interplay between 6, 7 and 1. Smart play, intelligent play. The kick, well, that wasn't up to the standard of the ball play we've just seen. Everybody makes a lot of noise, don't they, about Mikey Lewis, and rightly so, and Jez Litton as well, local lads. But Tyrone May, when he was signed from the Catalan Dragons, a lot of educated people who know a lot about the game said that's a key signing, is that?
Move now!
Pretty nicely.
Go on, go.
Robins looking to build on the first points. Don't forget St Helens Wigan to come. That follows us here. Rivals round continuing. And that should be a cracker. Winner will go top for the Betfred Super League tonight. And now a penalty for the Red and Whites.
Yeah, it's a late challenge. After the pass has gone, So after Suasu Su, it's just contact from Danny Houghton. There's not an awful lot in it, but you can see Suasu Su hits the deck. Ball carrier or ball passer in a vulnerable position, and Mikey Lewis has really got hold of that. Wow, what a kick!
That is a great touch finder. He's belted that nearly 50 metres downfield, and here come the red and whites again.
Dominate!
But not on that tackle as Lane quickly turns Whitbread away. All here, Minchella decides to run it, and he's found a gap. Gets through the line initially. He's still going, 12 out. Robbins looking lively here, looking to double their advantage. As the ball now works its way, here's Sue. Fancies a charge, he's trying to power his way. Hoy's trying to drag him back. And the big man a metre away. Options and dangers all over. The right-hand side looks where all the threats are lining up now. Here's Minchella, turns it back to May. May's going to be tackled by Houghton, but doesn't wrap up the ball. Gets it away now. Flicked out, and there's a chance on the far side. Burgess for the corner. He's over. Craven Park erupts again. 2 tries in quick succession. And Hull KR flying here, smiles all round. Burgess 3 in his last 3. Rovers lead by 8.
It looked like the play had broken down for a moment. Tyrone May came back in field, but then he found an outlet in Niall Evalds, who's gone score return provider, finds a lovely flick ball in the tackle, and Petter Hiku had the simple task of drawing his defender and releasing Joe Burgess, a close season signing from the Salford Red Devils, remember, and they cross again in the corner. And a foul play is what triggered all this, and it was innocuous. And this is the thing, small actions can have big consequences. And talking about big, what about that from the boot of Mikey Lewis? And once they get into the second, third play, looked at this point like the play had broken down a little bit. May finds Evalds. Take a look at this from Niall Evalds. Beautiful ball, fend on Sutcliffe, ball release, catch and pass by Hiku. And then Burgess dots down in the corner. It's worth another look at this pass from Niall Evalds. He squares up Liam Sutcliffe just there, and then that lovely ball out the back, draws in the defender. Simple 2-on-1, and they'll execute those all day long.
Tough kick from the sideline for Litton. The crowd on the far side will give us a good indication of this one as he strikes it, and he's just tugged it in front of the near post. So 8 points to 0, but Burgess, who had to be patient opening weeks of the season, is in the team now, and he's doing what he does best, scoring tries.
Well, Burgess is the try scorer, but Niall Evalds, I said he was a confidence player, Niall Evalds. He's got a couple of early touches, positive touches, 2 or 3 high balls he's taken, then he's got his try opportunity. He becomes a real high-level danger for oppositions if he gets involved positively at the start of the games, and he's showing as much.
Sue carries it now. Good aggression in defence from Hull. They've been on the end of 2 really big defeats in the last couple of weeks. After a bright start for the red and whites, the pressure building on Hull.
Well, this has to be a tidy set. They're halfway through now, 2 tackles remaining. They cannot afford anything here.
Well, a chip over the top. Hoy is back to get it. Skips away from him. He's in a bit of trouble now. Tex Hoy. The chasers are coming, and Lewis gets it right on the line. They get underneath it. They can't quite push him back in. Look at that. 5, 6 red and white shirts in there.
Well, a confident Tex Hoy runs towards that ball and takes it on the half volley. It's a number of individuals here who play without confidence at the moment.
Tony Smith's going to find out a lot about his side in the next couple of minutes. They're under massive pressure here. Can they dig themselves out of a hole? Jack Brown is into the action. Good run from McIntosh. They've actually done quite well to get up to the 30. And now Smith is going to kick low downfield. Evalds couldn't quite get there on the full, but he got a beautiful bounce. And he picks it up now. He's thinking about the counter-attack. He might not need it. Evalds is away. Straight through the middle. Passes inside. Lewis had contact but not put down. He's still got support with him. He's got Hall with him. Lewis won't need it. It's a sensational Hull KR try. Evalds with a kick return. Mikey tore Hull apart in round one, and he's at it again now. 12 points to nil.
Well, Hull KR have applied the blowtorch to the Black and Whites in the opening 20 minutes of this game. We'll start again with the kick return from Niall Evalds. Just glides across the field, patient, searches for an opening, but he has options. The entire time he has options. He's a searching, ranging, raking downfield kick. He gets the bounce, but just look, he's just now assessing the defensive line, summing up his options, shows the dummy. Ockenboy does poorly, finds the ball to Mikey Lewis, and then this is just determination and all the confidence he took from a stellar 2023 season and an international call-up. And he scores the third try in what has been an utterly dominant opening quarter for the Robins.
Well, when the Robins won 22 points to nil in round one, Willie Peters was not too critical of the attack. He said, look, that will come over the next few weeks and months. That will build. He was happy with the 0 on that occasion, but he'll be positively glowing with what he's seen in the opening quarter here.
No, Evalds is having a day out, Mark. He's having a real day out. It's his first Hull derby. Started the season on the wing, now gets a crack at his favourite fullback position. I'll tell you what, he's not laying anybody down. You know, third touchline attempt from Jez Litton. See if he's adjusted the angle.
Oh, I think the wind just took that away. That was a better strike, a much better strike. They're not from 3. We mentioned they had problems in round 1 with the goal kicking. But based on what we've seen in the opening 20 minutes here, Jez Litton might be getting a few more shots at goal.
No, I don't think it's going to matter, is it? If they carry on playing like they are now, terrible first-up defence, but you know, don't underestimate the footwork there and that ability to glide from Niall Evalds. And then Mikey Lewis gets the legs pumping, all the confidence in the world.
High kick, well taken. And again, Hull make the tackle but can't wrap up the ball. Plenty more live rugby league action, including now a Saints Wigan 2:45. Winner goes top. We've got NRL action to come, as well as the remainder of Rivals round. Warrington Catalan certainly takes the eye tomorrow. Sky Sports action at 2:55. Robins up to the 40 again. They're going to go through the ruck again. They wanted a penalty, they're not going to get one. Don't forget the verdict, 3:30 on Wednesdays. As Hadley fancies a carry now, he's over the halfway line. Again, it's a quick play of the ball. Lewis is going to hoist it high. Again, Hoy's going to hope this goes dead. And there's just too much on it. And it will be a 20-metre restart. Right, what's the mindset like now, the Black and Whites?
As we've been saying from the very start, you know, look, we said it was imperative that they started well. They haven't done that. How do they rescue that? Right, get your big boppers over the advantage line and get them crashing into Hull KR defenders and try and gain some momentum around this ruck. They've got to complete a set and put Hull KR in a corner with good line speed. You concentrate on the next set. The next 30 seconds in front of you, that's all they can do.
Yeah, one tackle, one set at a time. Danny Houghton slips the ball away. Lane will carry up to halfway. It's a better run from the Black and Whites. Kalepi Tanganoa coming into the action for the Robins. Smith finds Jack Brown. He's going to be wrapped up 30 metres away. Chance maybe to put some pressure on the back 3 here. What can Morgan Smith do? He's going to go straight down the field, and Evalds will wait. Catches the ball 5 out. Yes, it's a good chase, John, but from that kind of range, they surely want to get some more pressure on Evalds than that.
Yeah. You look, it does look a bit laboured, doesn't it? I mean, they've had to do a lot of defending of Hull FC in the opening 20 minutes or so. But everything about it looks laboured. The play the ball speed is slow. It's not allowed to be fast. There's another way of looking at it. Hull KR dominating the ruck area. But I'm still looking, you know, I watched Herman SAS in a Dolphins shirt last year tear up trees. And I'm looking at is this the same player?
Nice one. And a defensive set. There is Herman SAS, one of the new signings. As May just dribbles the kick down the touchline. It will bobble, and Hoy collects it just outside his own 10. But once again, nowhere for him to go. And again, the collision is won by the Red and Whites. What Tony Smith will be saying is, look, we score next and kick the goal. We're only 1 score behind.
Well, momentum can change in this game very quickly. We know that. We've both been around long enough to realise that this is not a foregone conclusion, but it's got to come from somewhere. There's got to be a spark. There's got to be an ignition point for Hull FC.
4. Move, Elliot! Back here, mate.
Sutcliffe wrapped up. There goes SASA again.
5. Move!
The hits as he gets some support around the big man, because we know he's got an offload in him as Smith will kick across field. It's not the best kick, he's caught on the full. And back come the Robins, and the tackle made 25
Release
off their own try line.
Pushes forward. Push forward. Got 1.
3 tries already. If you've just joined us, Evalds, Burgess and Lewis.
2. Move! Back up. Goal 2.
15 to go to the break.
4. 3. Move!
There from Opacek.
Turning back. Goal 3.
There's the defender on the ground. Hadley, route 1.
4.
Up towards halfway.
What we get?
Now it's Minchella, gets it to May. Ball over the top, he's on this time. Burgess will collect it this time. He's off down the touchline. Comes back in. He's got support. He just overruns it. Can he get back to his feet? No, he can't. Let's tackle. Didn't force the pass though. Struffy play the ball, and in the end, they'll turn it over through an incorrect play of the ball. But that was another chance on that right-hand side.
Yeah, I think this time, there's moments like this where Hull FC can take something from it. They've managed to repel what looked like a really dangerous attack. Burgess in the backfield, steps inside, loses his footing. Lingy Sao completes the tackle. It's just an incorrect play, the ball. Yeah, there's a little bit. There's a little bit in there from Lingy Sao, but it's the ball carrier's responsibility to play that properly.
Hold now, hold. Goal 1.
So the Black and Whites have stopped the immediate flow of points.
What we get? Hold.
Now can they set about getting some pressure on the line at the other end of the field, or moving out to this right-hand side? Scott is pushed to the ground. Ockenbaugh finds Lane. Short pass at the line. And an offload as well. Smith gets it away to SAS, who now moves it wide to Sal. Sal fires the pass out wide to Martin. Nowhere for him to go. And once again, the Robins aren't going to refuse a chance to knock down a sitting target on the halfway line.
5. Move! What we come down back. Goal 5.
Looks around him. Smith this time will go low.
We're going to be good, I think.
Schultz again gets a decent bounce. Nice first touch, but a decent chase.
Stand now,
From the Black and Whites, who maybe just changing their approach there with a low kick.
2. Move! Square up!
Going to try and limit the go forward.
Goal 2.
That Willie Peters' side are getting, as Hall thought about offloading and then stumbles into the tackle.
Move now! Hold down, hold. Goal 3. Yeah. 4.
Good strong run from Dean Hadley.
Hold. Goal 4. Good boys.
Now they're lining up to go to that right-hand side again. Here's Evalds, turns the ball back inside, and they're racing away now to pull all around. And there's going to be another try here. Batchelor is over. His first of the season. And boy, did he enjoy that one. Oh, there's some pushing and shoving now. He's kicking off in goal. Hull not happy about something that happened there. But Batchelor's try extends the Robins lead. There may be a little bit more to come from that post-try fracas in the in-goal area, but more problems for the Black and Whites, and at the moment they haven't got the answers.
Well, I'll tell you what they shouldn't be happy about, how easily they got opened up on that edge. It looked just a regulation spread play, but there's a change in tempo there as the referee, Liam Moore, has a post-try chat, warning perhaps to Mikey Lewis, but it's just this change in tempo that pulls Morgan Smith, and Lingy Sao's not able to close the gap. Hiku back on the inside, and then Batchelor released to score his first try of the season. Mikey Lewis it is, he goes and a petulant pat on the head, I think, for Darnell McIntosh, but that's too easy. It's just a simple change in direction. Batchelor on the end of it, and then Mikey Lewis is following it. Mikey Lewis actually gets shoved over by Darnell McIntosh, so it's just a retaliatory laugh in his face. 6 and 2 threes there. In fact, you look at that and you go, Darnell McIntosh is the instigator. This is the one thing that Mikey Lewis could potentially do a little bit better. He's such a high-quality player. and he was full of petulance as a young lad. I've seen a much more mature Mikey Lewis back end of 2023 into 2024. It's still there though, isn't it? Just bubbling underneath the surface. But hey, let's get away from that. Let's get to the positives. Few and far between for Tony Smith, few and far between for Hull FC fans, but I'll tell you what, the Robins are flying.
They are. It's another tough assignment from the sideline for Jez Litton. Sends this one low towards the post, and that one too is waved away. So goal kicking a problem, 4 tries to 0. It's a good job for the black and whites that they can't have the extras at the minute.
Yeah, just look at this. Tyrone May to Evalds, just drifts across again. Morgan Smith goes with him. Lingy South on the inside, cannot close the gap. Hiku on the inside. That's too easy. That's way, way too easy.
That's a decent kick-off. Will they get the bounce? No, they don't.
And the Robins will be just saying to Jez, listen, yeah, he's not from 4. They'll be saying to him, listen, hey, don't worry about it. You just keep doing your best. We'll keep scoring tries.
Oh, now a penalty conceded. Laying too much on the ground there. Told to get out of it. And Lewis is eyeing up another deep kick. And another deep kick he produces.
Yeah, just too much. Jordan Lane, too much on the run. And those little innocuous moments, they lead to big consequences, don't they? Danny Houghton shot out the line there and potentially opened this up play 1.
Yeah, May held on to it, let Houghton run through the line, then passed it behind him. And here they go again with Hadley. 30 away here.
2.
Litton finds Lewis, finds Minchella. Minchella bumps off 1. Still going forward, eventually he's thrown to the ground, 25 away. Is there more punishment incoming? As Litton again jumps out of dummy half. Here's Hiku now, short pass up the middle to Whitbread. Support arriving for Evalds, can't quite beat the last man. They bust open on this near side. Here's May now, short pass to Hadley, can't reach out. Last tackle, they've still got numbers to this side. They're going for the power play, and Tanganoa's put it down. Well, that was a chance gone begging there for Hull KR.
Hey, let's credit a good tackle when you see one, though. New Brown saved a try there. That tackle has stopped Dean Hadley crossing for the Robins' 5th try, and then Tanganoa's just not able to take the follow-up. It's a great piece of defensive play that's rescued something there. But what's worrying and what should be worrying Tony Smith is just how easily Hull FC are getting opened up with simple changes in direction. The Robins are not throwing... They're not presenting unsolvable puzzles here. They're dropping players back on the inside. They're just not being dealt with.
3. Move, Jez! Up now, goal 3.
Big 8 minutes to go to the break. Offload is picked up by Smith.
4.
And he quickly is tackled by Batchelor.
Hold! Goal 4.
16-0 could have been a lot worse.
Release now! 5.
Last tackle.
Goal 5.
As Houghton gets it away. Smith's going to go through hands here. Brown needs to find a pass. He just hurls it out the back. It goes back to Smith, who just kicks it. Hits the Robins player, and it's fallen upon by Tanganoa. And everything that the Robins do at the moment seemingly is going their way.
That's just breaking down, isn't it, Hull FC? They're starting to try things now and going on. I'm sure that's not part of any game plan. But they've been so frustrated by how slick the Robins have been. But I'll say again, you know, this is not grand final stuff. This is simple changes of direction. Hiku, ball just goes astray. Burgess tidies up.
Yeah, he did well there. Burgess didn't panic.
Goal 3.
Great shot there. Sutcliffe it was.
Stand for.
Batchelor on the end of it.
Goal 4.
May now.
5.
Hadley over halfway. Last tackle.
Hold. Goal 5.
To May. He's going to put it high. This is going to be a contest. Robins are giving chase. Hoy does really well. Got off the ground, and then he's picked up, pushed back to his 20-metre line.
Yeah, he's done his job well there. Eyes on the ball, off the ground, takes the tackle. Lewis Martin takes the first guy. I've been impressed. One of the few bright spots, I think, in a black and white shirt this season. The progression of Lewis Martin. He's a real athlete. Darnell McIntosh off the other wing to try and provide some impetus around the ruck.
Yeah, the youngster that's shown up well is Nick Staveley. We were expecting him to play today, but didn't quite make it. The ball works its way across to this near side, but Brown is wrestled to the ground. Every contest at the moment going the way of the red and whites as a kick downfield. Evalds is waiting again. The ball bounces up kindly for him. He runs across the field, outpaces Sal, gets the pass away, but the chase was good across the field, and Sutcliffe makes the tackle. But a quick play of the ball here, and Hiku, I think he's relishing it in the centre, isn't he? He's having free run of it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he was signed as a fullback. He was promised that #1 shirt. I always thought he's a better centre. When you saw him play for the North Queensland Cowboys, I thought that's where he excelled. And I think the side looks a lot more well-balanced. We've seen the evidence of it, haven't we?
Certainly have here. Up the middle. There you go. Luckily into the action. Minchella gets it away. May, they've got numbers again. Here's Hiku. Burgess outside him. Burgess down the sideline. Hiku inside. Hiku shows the dummy. And he will stroll in. It's a 5th try of the first half. And Peter Hiku adds to his total 6th try of the season for the Robins, who are running riot here on Rivals Round.
Well, 5 tries to nil and 5 different try scorers as well. Just shows the variation that Hull KR can offer. I mean, Hiku's done incredibly well there. First of all, to get the ball away to Burgess and then be in position to take the return. And these are gassed-looking Hull FC players. They've had to do an awful lot of defending. The defensive line is passive as a result. And the likes of Hiku and Evalds and Burgess can just run into some space. Nice catch and pass by Evalds. Catch and pass again by Hiku. And again, look, you're creating 2-on-1s and they'll take those all day long. I think there's another player, I think, who deserves mention. That's the man who just passed the ball there, Elliot Minchella. I'm such a fan of his. He cleaned up at the awards at the end of 2023, including the Players' Player. And when you think about the stellar performances of some of the Robins in 2023, you know, Elliot Minchella, Player of the Year, Players' Player of the Year, that's the one you really want to win. I think he's one of the... He's not underrated, of course, because he's a quality player, but his name often gets overlooked.
Will it be lift-off for Lytton? And the goal kicking, there is Elliot Minchella at the heart of everything that Hull KR do. The new captain. The roar will tell you everything. And Lytton, as though he's just rolled in upon the Masters, acknowledges the crowd and makes his way back. 22 points to nil. It's an emphatic first 40 minutes so far from Willie Peters' side.
What's the goal-kicking equivalent of the yips? Well, he's just banished them there. Wasn't the most confident of strikes, but he's gone over. And 22-0, look, it does nothing more than tell the story of this first half of football. It's been utterly one-sided, utterly dominant, and utterly in the favour of the home side, the Robins. This is a Hull FC side, needed to start well, didn't. Now Franklin Pele, 2 yards offside. You know, these are big-name signings they've brought in that are just giving up metres and territory and putting the team on the back foot again. Take a look at the possession stats. Take a look at the metres that the Robins have made. An additional 300 metres, the completion rate of 100%. I mean, this is just the perfect first 40 minutes.
Well, it was 22-0 when these two met in round 1 at full time. They might better that in the first half here. There's a light offload, and forward go the Robins again. Minchella clapping his hands, wants a quick play of the ball. Hadley, a willing runner, offers the dummy, he's chopped down just short of the 10-metre line. They're coming for more points here. They fancy it, Lewis straight up the middle, but he's turned away, 5 out. 2 minutes to go to the break. As Lewis is told to get to his feet and play the ball, he will. Minchella now to May, gets it away to Evalds, slicing through, looking for that 100th try, but he's denied, and there's another penalty incoming here. The fans reacted on that far side. They didn't like the challenge from Sutcliffe. Tap and go, they will. Minchella turned and Luckily, Maybe was just in the way, so Minchella will have to take it forward himself. They'd love another one here before the break. A short pass, good defence on the line from Hull, but they need a bit more of that if they're going to hold out the Robins here. And they're going back to that right-hand side. Minchella puts the brakes on, flicks the ball away. There's a Robin waiting, it's Evalds, flicks it to Hiku, gets it away, and again! Double for Burgess! He celebrates! Craven Park goes wild, there's no smiles on the Hull FC bench. The pressure building on Tony Smith and the black and whites. It's going to be a long old afternoon for them. The Robins lead by 26 points to 0.
Wow, what an attacking play. Again, Niall Evalds at the heart of it. He's just grown in confidence as this half has unfolded. And again, from a stop-start set, they found an edge, and another beautiful ball. It's that stop and go from Minchella. He finds a late offload. And look at this from Evalds, arm out, draws in Sutcliffe, flick pass again. That's such confidence, done with such aplomb. And Hiku, another try assist, but you look at try involvements. There's one from Minchella with a late offload. Here's another from Evalds, stiff arm, ball out the back, Hiku into the space between the two final defenders. And Burgess, well, I'll tell you what, if he holds his position, he could end up with 4 or 5 this afternoon.
Pure emotion on players and fans alike. Joe Burgess, second of the afternoon. The hoot has gone in the background, so this will be the last kick of the first half. What a picture that is. There's not a lot of talking going on there. There's some soul searching to be done. Tony Smith looks quite relaxed, but inside he must be boiling. They've conceded 50 in the last 2 games and are over halfway to doing the same again here. Litton to add the extras then. Litton sends it. Oh, he's found his range now. Another 2 points to the total. 28 points to 0. Tony Smith and Hull FC make their way into the dressing room. Big second half needed for the black and whites. But it's all good for those wearing the red and white. At half-time, Hull KR 28, Hull FC 0.
Mark John, thank you very much. Deary, deary me. Smiles on the east side of Hull as Hull KR walk off for a well-earned break, having scored 6 first-half tries against what must be said was a hapless Hull FC performance. What, if anything, can Tony Smith say at half-time? What are the thoughts of John Wilkin and Sam Tompkins? Well, you'll hear them the other side of this break.
Welcome to a new season, folks. The home of rugby league is right here.
Yeah, buckle up. Look at the emotion.
An absolute flying machine.
Nice work there on duty.
That is an extraordinary moment.
Did miraculously well to get it through.
He jumped like a rainbow and came up with a pot of gold.
Yeah, we'll continue our coverage of the NRL here on Sky Sports. Tomorrow, Queensland Derby with the Titans taking on the Dolphins, 8:35 a.m. Sky Sports Arena for that one. Well, welcome to our Good Friday coverage from the Rivals round, and what a game to start off our doubleheader. Hull KR, Hull FC, what a half-time scoreline we have. 6 tries, 2 of those converted by Jez Litton, 2 Hull KR, 0 for Hull FC, no points. Plenty of problems and plenty for John Wilkin and Sam Tompkins to discuss here pitchside at the Totally Wicked Stadium. Of course, we're building up to the Saints-Wigan game, which will come a little later on. A sold-out Totally Wicked Stadium, a sold-out Sewell Group. Craven Park has seen what, Sam?
Very one-sided half. I think Hull KR have looked slick in attack, certainly with Tyrone.
Okay, well, we'll get back to you.
What Sam was saying as we swatched his microphone
Okay,
out,
you got your mic back.
One-sided, Sam, one-sided.
John, you go ahead. What have you seen?
Half, wasn't it? It was complete destruction from Hull KR. They started the game incredibly efficiently and took Hull FC to pieces. We spoke about Hull FC's challenges. Well, I'd like to focus really on how great Hull KR were for 40 minutes.
You mentioned pre-game Hull KR's defensive efforts, and Willie Peters was building a side on defence.
Yeah, well, build your side on anything, build it on defence. And in the opening exchanges in this half, Hull KR's defence was just so tidy. It was so controlled. And off the platform of the defence, it gives you the chance to go and attack. And
contrast it with this defence.
Oh, yeah, well, it's just too easy, and it was through the middle, and it's Niall Evalds. What a game he's had. But Mikey Lewis, Tyrone May, really threatening all of the time. Tyrone May's loose sort of style suits Hull KR's broken play.
It's everything that's come off for Hull KR has been around ad-lib play, really. I think the two half-backs, we referenced it before the game, that's what they come up with, and they've proved massive problems for Hull FC, who they're not making it any easier by just coming up with soft defence.
Yeah, and the support play from Mikey Lewis. When you're an exciting player who likes to run the ball, Mikey Lewis is always around the action. He's hungry for possession, and he gets the ball there. That's some finish, some strength and balance from him.
He still had to break 3 tries after collecting the ball from the break. You know, that's very impressive. That shows strength, speed, everything he's got.
Yeah, it's a bachelor try, and this again, it was May. It's the left edge of Hull FC that's just come up with nothing all afternoon, and they've really struggled to deal with May, and that's resulted in not only bachelor scoring tries, but Burgess has had a field day out on that edge too, and it's Martin and Sutcliffe on that whole left edge who really just struggled to deal with anything that Hull KR have thrown them. As a result, Peter Hickett, well, this is nice, isn't it? It's Mikey Lewis being the antagonist, what we said about the petulance.
I actually think I don't think he started that one, to be fair.
Right,
but he's the man you want to get into.
16-0 became 22-0 with Peter Hickett's try. Again, this edge torn to shreds.
Yeah, just bad timing, defensively disconnected.
That's it, it's the disconnect. When you look at a good defensive edge, everybody's moving the same direction. Hull FC look like they've got 5 blokes on one side of the field, all trying to do their own thing, which is never going to work. They get an offload with 3-4 in the tackle, some guys coming in, some guys staying out, and it's just providing a massive opportunity every time Hull KR attack.
Niall Evalds having a wow of a game.
Oh, he's just having one of those red-hot days. You know, where things happen, everything you do is great. Unbelievable pass with Burgess with an easy finish in the corner. But that Hull KR right edge has been lethal. Hull's left edge has been lacklustre. Hull's performance has been flat.
And just imagine Jez Litton was kicking.
The only positive for Hull FC is that Hull KR don't have a goal kicker. Yeah. It should be 36-0 by this point.
There is a subplot, a subcontext to this game, of course. It is Tony Smith, who this week had come out in the papers in the build-up to this game, explaining how this was a long-term project and he had a history of being able to turn clubs around, which indeed he did. Huddersfield, Leeds and Warrington. But this will accentuate the pressure on Tony Smith. If they go on to concede any more points in this game, which looks likely, you would imagine there will be a huge heap of pressure on that coach, no matter what he says.
Yeah, I think he knows that there's pressure. Hull FC, regardless what they say externally, have lofty ambitions. They're a club that expects to be there or thereabouts. They're currently not there. Tony Smith's feeling that pressure, and this performance today really doesn't help because it's lacklustre, and it lacked energy, and it lacks intensity, and it lacked quality. All contrasted, the juxtaposition is Hull KR's performance, which is beautiful.
And if you concede, let's say 50 points in a derby match, talk about projects for the fans will go out the window. Long-term planning will go out the window.
Yeah, this will be the worst loss of the year if they go and concede 50 points. Tony Smith, yeah, he's under pressure. What can he say at half-time to tell New Brown to make a one-on-one tackle? Tell the middles, when there's 3 of you tackling a Hull KR player, don't let him offload. It's the basics that get him wrong. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure what Tony can say at half-time to make them change what they did in that first 40.
He can't say anything. The game's done. Like, this game's done. It's already in the bin. They can't, when they review this.
Not quite. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It is a Hull derby, and we have a Hull KR side who have put in a magnificent first 40 minutes. Well, it's hard to see a comeback, as you say, John Wilkin, for Hull FC. They will have to rustle up something because the pressure is mounting on the club from the west side of Hull. We've got the second half on the way after this. Under the bronze gaze of one of the greatest ever in rugby league and certainly in St Helens history, Kieran Cunningham, and of course Steve Prescott, immortalised here at the Totally Wicked Stadium. The fans of the Saints and Wigan have made their way here today for this Good Friday derby game that is and has been for weeks now an absolute sellout. We'll be bringing you that shortly here on Sky Sports. We'll be building up to a 3 o'clock kickoff as arguably the two best sides in the competition clash. Well, just a reminder, we've got the full Easter programme here for you on Sky Sports, as this year in 2024 we bring you more than ever before every Super League game live. Tomorrow's doubleheader sees Warrington take on Catalan and will be followed by Salford Lee. Channels below, action and main event for those two will go on action at 2:55 p.m. on Sunday as Rivals Round comes to a close with the Giants travelling south to the capital. Well, in the east side of Hull, our Good Friday doubleheader has kicked off, and in style if you're a Robins fan. 6 first-half tries, just 2 of those, though, converted by Jez Litton, has a 28-0 lead going the way of the home side, and leaves plenty of questions for Hull FC, their supporters, their coach, and their player, Sam Tompkins.
Yeah, huge questions. I thought today we spoke about it's an opportunity for Hull FC. The first 40 minutes, they've done nothing but confirm the form they've had in the first 5 rounds of this year.
Okay, there is pressure as well, though, on Hull KR to repeat what has been a majestic first 40 minutes performance. Can they do that and heap more pressure on their rivals from the west side of the city? If they can, you'll find out in the company of our commentary team as we return to John Wells and to Mark Wilson.
The team's out then for the second half here at Sewell Group Craven Park. 28 points to 0. That's 50 unanswered points this season the Robins have posted against the Black and Whites. Are we in for another record Super League win for the red and white half of Hull? We're about to get underway. Second half underway. Hull KR against Hull FC here. Rivals round on Sky Sports. And John Wells, it's all about the red and whites.
Yeah, it is, but I'm going to put the microscope on their opposition, the Black and Whites. I want to look and have a close examination of what this opening set looks like, because their ears should be ringing from what's been said in the dressing rooms.
We'll have reaction from both camps at the end of this one, but it's going to take some turnaround as Houghton kicks early here. Ball will bounce back, but it's in effect a short kick downfield, so the Robins are going to start once again a set outside their own 30.
Yeah, kick midway through the set. The aim there, obviously, if the ball had run on and got inside the 20, a decent kick chase, you know, this would have been a different kettle of fish altogether. Decent contact, though, so 2 tackles gone, still in their own 40, the Robins.
Short of the halfway line now. Be interesting what the reaction is. Will there be one, sorry, from the visitors here.
Get square, boys. Hold.
Litton at dummy half. And Chella finds May. Again, they're coming to this side. The ball round the corner. Evolds just couldn't quite take it in. They were bust open again there, Hull, but the pass wasn't quite right.
Yeah, 2 things. One, Hull FC have been rewarded there for a much stouter defensive set. And the second thing is, Willie Peters will be wanting to guard against this. 28 points to 0. He wants to, you know, there'll be a danger there of him now overplaying, thinking there's going to be a try-scoring opportunity in every possession. And that's probably the first example of that. That's something they've got to rein in quickly.
The Black and Whites making their way forward. Let's get some half-time reaction then from pitch side with Danica Prim.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Willie Peters actually said he doesn't want the team to get complacent and they want the discipline to stay the same. However, the boys coming out of the Hull FC changing room was very sombre and absolutely silent.
Okay, quiet. They might be getting noisy here because they almost got a chance. I think Evolds lost that in the sun there. Difficult conditions. And Evolds not quite sure. They got the look of the bounce there, the Robins, but a sombre away dressing room. You'd expect nothing less.
Well, it's not what you want to hear, though, is it? If you're a Black and Whites fan watching at home, and there's probably very few of them, the most of them will be in here or in a pub somewhere watching this one. We conceded a penalty again, offside. And it'll be one of those Black and White defenders who just stepped in front of the referee and giving the Robins an easy leg up. You talked about stats, didn't you, about numbers, about defeats. Well, this is now only the 9th time in 46 derbies in Super League history that Hull KR have posted in excess or 28 points. So they're already in rarefied air.
They are. Hull conceded 50 at Huddersfield in the Cup, 54 against Leigh in the last Super League outing. Only 28 in arrears here. Well, in round one, the Robins didn't quite kick on second half, but you get the mood. They're in line for some more points here. May moves it across to Evolds. Miss-out pass was put down. Martin, if he could have taken that in, and he knows that was a chance, but the youngster just couldn't quite hang on.
Yeah, he got himself, did everything else right back, catch the ball, got himself in the right position, anticipated this ball from Niall Evolds. It just came. They've got to stick. They've got to stick in these set of circumstances, and where Hull FC find themselves. You imagine an alternate reality where Lewis Martin pouches that. He has got the pace to go the full length.
Yes. But instead, the Robins start 20 metres away. And the ball now in the hands of Dean Hadley, who's relishing it up front today. Litton finds May. May gets it away. Big gap. Flick pass. Good tackle. Good scramble there. On Lewis, it was Darnell McIntosh. Not the first time those have collided today. Here now is May. Gets it away to Evolds. Evolds puts the brakes on. Now he's going back up the middle, looking for that 100th Super League try, but not on this occasion. He won't get it. Over on the far side. Ball now comes back centre field. Minchella back to May. Are they going to go to that left-hand side? No, they're going to come back to Evolds here. They're picking and choosing. They're just offloading. It's like a game of touch and pass for the Robins at the moment. There's no real threat in front of them. Last one, 5 out. Litton has got May to his short side, and he's going to have a go himself. Litton reaches out, and he's just held up a fraction short.
There was a probing set from the Robins, wasn't it? Just assessing, seeing if a black and white player had switched off at the other side of the ruck, and they'd found that all too frequently in the first 40 minutes. But they've got through the first 2 sets of Hull FC. The worrying thing is just off screen. Danny Houghton is down in some discomfort.
Oh, now an error. Look at the reaction. An error from Hull FC. And Danny Houghton, you mentioned it, he's been playing busted, hasn't he? He's really put his body on the line, Danny Houghton, but you get the feeling that his race is run. He's in a world of pain, Danny Houghton.
And it was in an act of saving a try as well. Jez Litton from dummy half. And he's really caught something there in the tackle. This is the mistake. Under pressure, Liam Sutcliffe. And there are hands in there, but the judge to have knocked on into a defending player. And look at the celebrations from the Robins. They're in no mood either. This is the more concerning scene from a black and white's perspective. They're going to give him all the time they need, but you see the sign there. There's a shake of the head. And the international sign for substitution. And that's the last thing that Tony Smith needs.
Well,
his warrior leaving the field.
It is, but at some point, John, he's got to think about the bigger picture, hasn't he? He's got to say to Danny, look, enough's enough, Danny. You're going to have to. He is going off, and you know when he leaves the field, there's a big problem for him and for Hull FC. And he will leave the field. He looks in a great deal of discomfort as well. Hopefully, nothing long term.
Well, if that's a rib cartilage, you're clutching at his side. They're really painful. You can't get your breath. You feel like someone stuck a poker in your side.
Well, there might be another thorn coming into the side of Hull FC here. There's a ball back on the angle for Opacek. They've not seen much of it on that left-hand side, have they? But they'll be hoping for a bit more ball second half. The ball works its way centre field. Tanganoa is wrapped up 5 away. First point, second half. Are they incoming here? 5 out from the line. Hull defending their own line. Litton looking. We'll go to May now. May turns it back here for Hiku. Hiku slices across the field. Again, to be fair to the black and whites, they defend it well enough. But are they setting up a big switch to that left-hand side here? Litton to May, to Lewis. Lewis turns into a tackle and gets a shot in the midriff from Jack Brown. And this is the 5th tackle incoming here. They're going to work it back towards May. May gets it away to Luckley. Luckley back to May. May burrows his way, trying to power to the line. And once again, the Robins are going to turn the ball over right on the Hull try line.
Good defensive set there. If I'm Willie Peters, I'm scratching my head a little bit here. You know how good Tyrone May's short kicking game is. And we said, didn't we, a couple of minutes ago, there's a danger here of the Robins who concede a penalty now for a high shot. Dean Hadley just snaking high. There's a concern there from the home team and from Willie Peters that they overplay their hand here. They try and score points on every possession. The sensible play there, and Tyrone May will know this when he sees that video review again, just to dribble one in and keep the pressure on. Yeah, it's a high shot. It's a careless arm up there from Dean Hadley.
We mentioned that performance in round 1. They didn't quite kick on after half-time, the Robins, but can they do the same again here as Hull are just trying to throw the ball around here? A stumble, and that's the youngster. Jack Charles is into the action. So his dad down in the stand at half-time. Charles making his way, the teenager. It's a tough environment to be welcomed into Super League. Here goes SASA, better.
That's a carry. That's what you're signing for.
Well, now Brown is in at dummy half, and here now is Lingy Sow, and Sow gets it away to Sutcliffe. Bit of open field for him, tackled by Hiku. Chance though here if they go to the right, and that's where Smith is kicking now. Cross field, batted down. That's going to be play on. It's not played up by Rovers. They pick it up. Lewis collects it. Well, that was probably the best attacking set we've seen from Hull FC.
And what was the spark? A direct, strong carry from a big forward who they brought in to do that job. That's the first time we've seen SASA over the advantage line today.
But also now New Brown is at dummy half, then that might encourage more direct running. There's Burgess, 2 tries for him in the first half. Just seeing a triple substitution from Willie Peters. Sue carries it up the middle. Jez Litton's gone for a breather, so Matt Parcell is into the action. As Lewis kicks, that's charged down, and it's picked up here. This is going to be a try, and Ockenbaugh is away, and Ockenbaugh will score. First points for Hull FC. It's the first try for the black and whites for Jayden Ockenbaugh. And sometimes when you're up against it, you've just got to try hard. He put pressure on the kicker, and he gets his just rewards.
Now then, he's gone out of the line. He's applied the pressure on Mikey Lewis, who is a great kicker of ball. He needs time. And what they've done, I'd trace that all back to one carry by Herman SASA, where he got himself over the advantage line. They played off the back of it. All of this position now, and the reason that Mikey Lewis is kicking from there, you can trace back to that one carry and how they played off the back of it. Ockenbaugh, opportunist with his charge down. He's a big, rangy back rower. Is Ockenbaugh, signed from the Bulldogs in the off-season. He's had a middling start to life in a black and white shirt, but he gets a try for his troubles there. And the black and whites are off the board.
Yeah, Donnell McIntosh looking to add the extras here.
Yeah, just pick the ones we need to, boys. When the manager one of the count, there's no response to tackle.
The kick is good. 28 points to 6. A little bit of joy for those in black and white here at Craven Park this afternoon. Lewis kick charged down. Right, let's get some injury news down at pitchside. It's Danny Capri.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Danny Houghton. He's receiving lots of medical attention, and it looks like it is a rib injury and he won't be returning.
Okay, so no Danny Houghton. Did look a painful blow for him. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that Hull FC have been here and pulled it out of the fire as they did famously back in 2016, but that's a high tackle on Charles, and all of a sudden the Robins just getting a little bit of discipline.
Yeah, well, because they're not able to apply any line speed because the carries have been better. The carries have been more direct. You can then play on the front foot, and a little bit of footwork can cause problems. It can cause problems for the best of you.
Can Hull go back to back? Remind us that Helens Wigan to come. Winner of that one will be top of the Super League tonight. As Ockenball, the try scorer, drives forward. They're 25 away. Charles then skips across, short to SASA. Brown in at dummy half. Gets it away to Smith. Smith back on the angle for Sal. A little bit of footwork, takes it past two. Flicks the ball away. There could be a chance here. Charles was in support. They didn't find him. Well, they're inside the 10 again here. Now they'll go to Charles. Turns it back. Determined carry. All of a sudden, Hull FC got a bit more steel about them in this second half. But have they given themselves too much to do? Lovely pass out wide. Trying to get away. They're over the line. And they have got another try. Cameron Scott it is who's got his first of the season. And Hull FC have given themselves a chance here, much to the delight of their travelling fans.
Well, a double strike inside 5 minutes for the Black and Whites. I'll tell you what, Jack Charles has had a really good introduction to this second half. I've been keeping my eye on him in back play, and he's bossing players around, senior players. And Tony Smith took his time in introducing him into the game. But what about this for a pass? That's beautiful. Cuts out two defenders, and then it's a one-on-one with Cameron Scott. Very strong in the tackle, rides the challenge. And it's Tom Opicic, I think, that he gets over, you know, known for his defensive work, Opicic. And it's a second try in 5 minutes. And this game's come alive because it was looking like a procession, wasn't it? Looking like a parade at half-time. And Cameron Scott, who's had injury worries and injury problems of his own to deal with, is back in the starting lineup at the expense of the injured Carlos Tuamivavi. And he scored what could be a very, very valuable try in the context of this game.
Can McIntosh slot the extras from out wide? No, not the best strike, but they are back within 3 converted tries. Tony Smith, whatever he said at half-time, well, there has been a response.
It takes some courage and some knowledge and a roll of a dice from a head coach, despite the experience he's got. There's a young kid there with a lot of potential in Jack Charles, and he's gone, do you know what, son, get on there and show us what you can do.
Well, he made his debut. We saw the game against London. Came on as a sub there, and Tony Smith said ahead of that one, he's ready. We feel he is ready. Cam Scott's certainly ready. First try of the season for him. Well, there's a bit more purpose, and the Black and White fans will want to know where was that purpose in the first half.
Yeah, they looked flat, didn't they, for the first 40 minutes. But again, we talk about moments in games and how momentum can shift. 1 or 2 carries, a little bit more punch in defence, and that changes the complexion of things. Hull KR have had it very, very easy so far this afternoon. They've had to do very little, they've had to think very little. Now they're getting some shape thrown at them in some determined carries like this from SASA.
Yeah. Look at that. 4 on him, and he's still stood there. Last one. They're going to get it away to Smith. Smith's going to run it, gets it wide. Sutcliffe will roll the kick down the line. Will it bounce kindly for Martin, who toe pokes it down past Evalds, but it's gone into touch. And that will be a turnover of play.
You take those all day long. They're now playing on the front foot on the last tackle. They go for the run play. And then Sutcliffe eventually drops it on the toe. Just doesn't get the bounce, Lewis Martin. But this is much more encouraging signs from a Hull FC perspective.
It is. Look, if Hull were to score the next try, then we could have a grandstand finish. But the Robins will have other ideas. And you just go back, you mentioned it, John, when they had those 2 sets on the line and they just turned the ball over on the line. They didn't ask too many questions. You might need to start asking some more questions now.
Well, I think they fell into that trap thinking points were going to come every time they got into that area of the field.
Here's Parcell, jumps out of dummy half. Good work from Mark at defence from Ockenball. Here now goes Minchella. Route 1 stuff from the Robins. Gets the ball away to Lewis. Thought about throwing it out wide and will opt instead to take the tackle. Charles is on him. Oh, did they lift his leg?
Move!
Referee says play on, get on with it. Here now is May. He's going to run it on the last. Dribbles a kick through. Can they get on the end of it? Batchelor will hack it further forward. It's picked up, but I think that will still be the turnover.
There's another example. Because, again, that wasn't the play, was it? They've had 2 tries scored against them. The idea behind a set like this now is to consolidate. They still protect an 18-point lead. That ball needed to go into the in-goal. I would imagine there'd be a message coming on very, very sharpish to the ball players in this Robins side saying, listen, get back to plan A, please.
Well, he's getting bumped off a couple of times defensively. Hull FC look to work down the short side with Sutcliffe. Good carry from him, 5 shy of the halfway line. Martin in at dummy half. All of a sudden, the Hull players want to get their hands on the ball. Charles Geist, nice pass. A little bit of room on the far side. They're working their way down with Scott. Another good carry from him. Up to 30 away. Ball back now to Charles, who swings it to Smith, who finds SASA. Gets it away back to Smith. Thinks about the ball over the top. Turns it back. It's out touch that. Went backwards, says the official. Last tackle. New Brown will get it away. They're gonna hammer the kick into touch, and that will say that the Robins will get the ball back. Just over a quarter of the game remaining.
Yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind that. It's a good option. It has, you know, they want to slow the pace of this game down. They've got the upper hand at the moment of Hull FC. And Tony Smith talking to Jack Ashworth ahead of his return to action. They now get that 10 seconds to set a defensive line. Let's try and slow this ruck down, squeeze the meters from Hull KR.
2. Move up and square.
Robins play on their own 20. Hiku carries 9 downfield. Well, it looked like a stroll in the bank holiday sunshine in the first half for the Red and Whites, but they're not having it all their own way. Second half.
Release.
One more score would just calm everything down here. There's a short pass, and now there's a line break. And that's a great run from Sue. Got some ball winning the big man. Still going. Hoy brings him down. What a carry that was from Soaso Sue. Quick play of the ball. They're going down the short side here. Lewis can't get the kick away. Hoy collects it. Hoy now's got one man to beat. That man is Minchella. Minchella makes the tackle.
Really significant tackle. And they've stolen the ball as well. Minchella, Johnny on the spot.
Hoy just played it too quickly. Is that a changing moment in this game? Minchella did so well to get that ball. 2 bits of brilliance from him. As Batchelor comes forward now. That lifts the crowd here at Craven Park. Ball now works its way in the middle with Staunton. Found game time tough to come by this season so far. They're lined up left and right. Parcell jumps out of dummy half, gives it back to Minchella. Minchella looking to offload it, finds Staunton. Staunton tackled. Couple of metres away, last one. May calls for it on the near side. He will get the ball. They move it out wide here. Hiku with a kick forward. Was that played at by Hull? Was it played at? Yes, it was. It's going to be another set of 6. Rovers just starting to get a couple of things going their way. Quarter of the game to go. The Robins are poised. Sue with that great break to set up this passage of plays, looking to offload. It was on as well momentarily. Parcell was waiting. Now he'll get the ball away short on the run around. Parcell finds the pass. Desperate defence. Is it enough? Is it enough? Charles, I think it is, who's underneath that tackle.
On the 10.
Well, he's not the biggest, but he got his body underneath it. And they're held up. They want a quick play of the ball. They're not hanging around here, the Robins. Here's Tyrone May. Evalds into the line. Evalds tackled by Sutcliffe. Last tackle again. Back-to-back sets, and Hull have held out so far. Ball towards May. May will get it away to Lewis. Lewis steps, comes back. Hall is waiting on the wing. Little kick in behind. Won't get to him. Charles collects it. And Charles is tackled 11 out.
Again, the easy option now is just to roll the kick in. Someone needs to get the message out to them. I'll tell you what, Hull FC have been so resilient. That's 12 tackles on the fly they've done defensively. And now they've got willing runners as well.
coming up the middle with Ashworth. High kick is going to be collected by Burgess off the wing. Burgess looking to counter-attack. Skips across the field up towards the 40. Trying to work the arm free, will take the tackle 5 short of the halfway. Lewis stands, ponders, and is collected a yard short of halfway. Well, no points yet for the Robins second half.
And Tyrone May with the ball in his hands finds Evalds back on the inside. Hull FC tackles stick again. 2 tackles to go in this set. And they've found something to build on of the black and whites.
Here's May, finds Lewis. Lewis back on the angle. It's not quite happening at the moment for the Robins. They've lost that fluidity that they had first half. Last one. Lewis will hoist it. The wind will hold it up. It's a tester. Nobody goes to collect it. And in the end, Hoy happy that the ball just poked to him. So coming up then is St Helens taking on Wigan. Winner of that one will go top of the Super League tonight. The teams are arriving. We've got all the build-up to that one at the Totally Wicked Stadium straight after this one.
What a game that's going to be as well. I'll tell you what, if this one has proven to be a decent hors d'oeuvre, I think Saints Wigan, well worth watching. Don't leave your sofa.
Yeah, and that, of course, whoever wins that one will go top.
Good carry Lingy Sow again. Back ends of sets, just getting themselves on the front foot, buying a little bit of time. Bomb goes up from Morgan. Hall takes it though, has time, skips out the first tackle. Good cover from Dano McIntosh.
Yeah, there are the teams across the bottom of your screens now. Now penalty for the Robins. Well, it sets up the weekend beautifully because the winner of that goes top, and then Warrington get their chance tomorrow when they take on the Dragons, all part of Rivals round. Time now becoming an enemy of Hull, who just gave themselves too much to do. They had that flurry. 2 tries in 4 minutes, but not being able to add to it crucially thereafter. There goes Lewis. Wanted a penalty and didn't get one. He thought the markers weren't square. Well, Charles and Lewis going at it. There may be a sign of the future of things to come in this city. Great carry again. Tanganoa it is. Minchella, May drops it back for Hiku. Hiku steps out of one. Had time to offload, but opted to hang on.
Right, 2 tackles left. See how they end this set. This is significant, I think.
Well, there they're just going route one up the middle. I say Ryan Hall has not seen much of the ball. He might get some here because Parcells going for it. Parcell tackled a metre short. Last tackle. Is this the moment they wrap it up? They're trying to burrow their way over, and they're held up over the line.
Let go, Mikey.
Well, it's not a regulation end to a set. The try-scoring opportunity this season, very, very close from Matt Parcell. It's just Tex Hoy who manages to change the body line so he can't reach out. And then Mikey Lewis, he spotted half of something, but he's very well wrapped up by the black and whites. The issue is they're starting a lot of sets from inside their own 10. Carries 1 and 2 are really difficult in these circumstances.
Can Hull FC conjure up some magic and get another try? Sutcliffe drives forward. Move Brown at dummy half. Hits it away. Tackle on Jack Brown. Plays it up the middle. SASA trying to find an offload, but luckily clamps the ball. And the tackle is made on the halfway line. Charles is going to go to the sky. Kicks downfield. Evans is underneath it. Will catch this one on the full. But the chase is a decent one. Better second half from Hull, but it's okay starting to play, John, when you're 28 points to 0 down, isn't it?
Yeah, not, you know, in the wash-up, that'll be the first question, I think. You know, why did it take a bloodied nose for you to spring into action? You know what this game should mean to you. You know what it means to the city, both sides. It's worth 6 competition points in the mind of every fan watching today.
Well, it'll get the Robins right back in the mix as Whitbread up the middle. Last one, wants a quick play of the ball. He's going to get one. Parcell will fire it to Lewis. Lewis is going to stand up the kick. McIntosh waits underneath it. He collects it, and the Robins collect it.
That's better. That's much better from the Robins, and they really compress the defence. Take a look at the width of the defence there. Burgess, that's the centre you can see leaving the line. Well, and they're trying to play around them, but it's very difficult, is that. Close the gaps up between the defenders. Give Hull FC nowhere to go.
Sutcliffe has a runner. Lewis makes the tackle. 10 short of the halfway line. Not the best pass from Brown, collected well. Over on that far side. And this will be the last tackle. 12 to go, 18 the difference.
Goal 5.
The expected avalanche of points hasn't come. 2 players almost went for the same ball. Burgess thought he had a better angle, and then Hiku's pass was batted down. Hiku should collect that. Well, he collects his own pass, and now he'll look to go forward. He might wish now he'd let Burgess catch the ball.
There was just a knockdown, wasn't it? A hand in there from the Black and Whites, but the kick was a poor one because of the kick pressure applied by Mikey Lewis on young Jack Charles. The kick didn't have any depth.
And he gets it away. Head rocks back in the tackle. Chiller gets it just short of the halfway line. Here now is Minchella. Ball is offloaded. Now there's a break up the middle. Oh, beautiful pass to Evans. Evans got support and he's inside, didn't use it. Tackle made. What a bit of play that was from the Robins.
That's brilliant from Opacic, but they've still got a chance here.
They have. Here's May now. May, ball in one hand. Can he get to an edge? He's done well to hang on to that as he was getting swung round. Set restart for the Robins. Some more danger incoming here for the Black and Whites defence. They'll just settle things down here. Ball now to Minchella. Minchella takes it to the line, finds Lewis. Tanganoa steamrollers through, and Tanganoa for the line will win it for the Robins. Eventually, the pressure tells, and with 10 minutes to go, Kalepi Tanganoa wraps up the whole derby, and it's going to be a double for the Robins. They lead by 32 points to 10.
What a brilliant close season pick-up along with Jai Whitbread from the relegated Wakefield Trinity side, and Kalepi Tanganoa scores his second Super League try of the season with a typical barnstorming run. He's a ball of energy, isn't he, Kalepi Tanganoa? And the Hull KR fans finally celebrate. There is silence, muted silence at the other end of the stadium as Hull FC fans watch on at what could have been after such a bright start from these men in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. But the Robins had weathered the storm, got back in position, and then Kalepi Tanganoa. It all started with this, didn't it? What about this from Opacic? Ball out the back, they're playing with confidence. Evel's assessing the situation. Beats Tex Hoy, takes the tackle of McIntosh. There's a set restart came when Tyrone May was held on to for too long. But then Minchella is so important to this attacking setup. Just tips the ball back inside. It's a mismatch in size, isn't it, between Tanganoa and young Jack Charles. But that setup play is brilliant. How many times Elliot Minchella engages that defensive line, and that means players have got to get off quick and move sideways. They lose their hips. They can't apply forward pressure. And Kalepi Tanganoa, as you say, Mark, seals the game, seals the derby, puts another W in the win column in this long-standing traditional fixture. And the Robins will go to 8 points on the competition ladder.
Mikey Lewis on kicking duty. No Jez Litton on the field at the minute. Lewis strikes that one straight through the middle. Another 2 points. And any nerves that may have been there is Jez Litton. He might be thinking, I wish I was taking that kick rather than all those off the touchline.
Yeah, he's got white paint all over his boots, hasn't he, for the first half. And Mikey Lewis gets one just to the left of the uprights. I think that lovely change of tempo from Elliot Minchella, engaging the line, and then just shrugged off the attempted tackle from Jack Charles.
Will that free the shackles for the last few minutes? There is Elliot Minchella. His reputation just continues to grow, doesn't it?
He's had some game, hasn't he? We think and we look about the best ball-playing 13s in the game. Cameron Murray, I would think of in a South jersey. Over here, you've got Joe Westerman's been doing it for a long time as that link man in the Cassava Tigers shirt. Well, Elliot Minchella's, I think, is every bit as effective for the Robins side. He provides that link, doesn't he, between the genuine ball players out wide. It means they can attack wider channels.
Here's May now, support all around him. Evolds is hit. And Sow completes the tackle, last one. May will get it across to Lewis, who's just going to hoist it downfield. Hoy's going to have to come into a bit of traffic, gets off the ground. And he's collected. He's actually done reasonably well under the high ball, Tex Hoy, today.
He has. He's been asked plenty of questions, hasn't he? I think he's not had many opportunities in open space, and that's because of the lack of go forward for the majority of the game from Hull FC, but his defensive work under the high ball has been sound.
Yes. To the 30. Come Hull. What about Hull then? Huddersfield next weekend, who thumped them in the cup last week. Then St Helens, Leeds and Warrington. It's not getting any easier, is it, for the black and whites? There's a ball with Evolds now. Up towards the 30-metre line. And here's Hall. Hall trying to get to an edge. Tackled 40 out. And there's Tanganoa trying to get his head and arms through the tackle. Will play it just short of the halfway line. Parcell, well, not the best pass. He'll get his own pass. And then bounces off one. Still going. And will take the tackle. Lewis to Minchella. Luckily, strong carry from him. Nice one. Parcell. And get it to May. May's going to run it again. They just overran him momentarily. Needs to find a pass. He does find a pass to Hiku. Hiku flick pass to Burgess. Burgess down the sidelines. Got Batchelor inside. Batchelor's tackled. Offloads it. Then it's knocked on by Hiku. Well, they went for it. It wasn't the plan they played for, but almost came up with another try.
Now, they're playing with so much confidence, aren't they? Hiku, the latest one, with a lovely little ball. Look, take a look at that. One-handed, no-look pass to Burgess. Knows where he was, but I tell you what, it's a decent scramble, this, from Hull FC. Down on McIntosh, across from the other side of the field, and snuffs that one out.
Well, the Hull KR fans are giving Tony Smith plenty here. We mentioned that run of fixtures coming up, John. Huddersfield at home, who put 50 on them last week. Then they go to Saints, Leeds, then they're at Warrington. There's no sign of it easing up for Hull, is there?
No, absolutely not. And they've got to look for positives. If you believe what Tony Smith says, that there's patience being afforded him and that this is a long-term project, then notwithstanding the error that Hull FC have come up with, he would point to this second 40 minutes where they've outscored the home side. Yeah, he's just not regained his feet properly before he's played the ball home in SASA.
Yeah, there's a problem, though, for Tyrone May, who's just gone down at the side of play there.
Cheers, Martin. Hand over, boys, fixed.
He just got caught when SASA fell over. I think maybe just rolled over on him.
Yes, mate, yeah. OK, boys, let's go.
I think Willie Peters is saying, let's get him out of there. So he's going to go off for the last few minutes, Tyrone May. Jez Litton back into the action. Played at half-back last week in the absence of Mikey Lewis, so more than accustomed to the role. But here is Lewis now. Is there one more try left in the Robins? Minchella again into the teeth of the line, finds Whitbread, who was well wrapped up by SASA. There's Litton now, short pass to Batchelor. Batchelor's 12 away when he's dragged down. Looking now to go centre field is Litton. Litton with a dummy. Attracts defenders, last one. Parcell will find Minchella, who's got Lewis with him. Lewis short to Tanganoa. Tanganoa looking for an offload. He's tackled a metre out.
He's done well that time, Jack Charles. They've set up the play for him. They wanted to do it 2 plays ago. and they wanted to get Tanganoa back onto Jack Charles. This time he's come up with a tackle. Well, look, again, the final analysis of this, and the Robins are going to pick up the competition points, and forget that it's a derby. The Robins are sending a message here to the rest of Super League that the development last year was just part of a wider progression, both on and off the field. They're good to watch, easy on the eye, they look organised, it's a well-balanced side, and they're well-coached.
Short pass, well held by Brown. Plays it now. All looking for a late consolation. Better carry, big carry, ball breaks through. That could be play on. It is play on. Smith collects it. In fact, it was Pele, wasn't it? Not SASA. My apologies. With a big carry there. This is SASA. Bumps off one. Can't find an offload on this occasion.
Well, these are the sort of pictures we expected to see from the start of the game, weren't they? He was ripped out. 6 again, they go again. There's another great pass from Charles.
It is, and now there could be a chance for Charles. Puts the boot in, out wide, and it's going to be a try. Dropped it. McIntosh has dropped a Derby Day try right in front of the Robins faithful, and they let him know about it.
Well, you've got to marvel at the build-up play. Jack Charles, if he put us under some pressure defensively, he finds the ball out the back, he then stays alive, picks up the return from Cameron Scott, then drops it on the toe. That's great awareness from the young kid. And I think he was going for the spectacular, wasn't he, Darnell McIntosh there? He just needs to ground the ball. But I'll tell you what, if Hull FC want fresh impetus next week, they do worse than starting Jack Charles again. I think, yes, it's been a cameo, but it's been a very impressive one.
Well, dependent on that injury to Danny Houghton, that might have to be the plan. An error from Hull Kingston Rovers.
You know, in terms of standout players this afternoon, there's been a number, haven't there? Petr Hiku's played well, Tyrone May's been a menace, Jez Litton in his 2 spells has been exceptional, Elliot Mincello we've spoken about, but the Betfred player of the match as chosen by the Sky Sports team really can only be one player, and it's in a red and white shirt, and the award goes to Niall Evalds at fullback. I think he's had an absolutely outstanding game, 162 metres carried, and I think he's, by my reckoning, had a hand in or scored in every single try by Tanganoa's.
Well, another error from Hull, and that should do it. Look at the reaction. Evalds in the heart of that celebration as well. An error from Pele, as you just see the ball bobble out there. Well, the game, if we're honest, was over as a contest at the end of that first half with a blitz from the Robins. They're going to do the double over their big rivals. And they're right back in the mix.
Take a look at those for stats. 3 line breaks, and they're clean line breaks, not tackle busts. That's where you go through the line. 162 metres from 24 carries. They laud the fullbacks in the NRL, don't they? The Dylan Edwards and the James Tedescos of the world. Well, I'll tell you what, he's had a game. He's had a proper day out today as Niall Evalds.
He has. The fans are counting down here at Craven Park. A little bit of pushing and shoving between Ashworth and Parcell at the end of it. Referee steps in but says that will do it. Hull is red and white. Tony Smith, a warm handshake with Petr Hiku, but the pressure on Smith and Hull FC builds. They need to find a win, and they need to find a win quickly. But for the Robins, another full house here, and they've been trying to some fantastic tries in that first half. No joy on the try-scoring stakes for Ryan Hall today. Cam Scott got over for one of 2 consolations for the black and whites. And smiles all round here for the first part of a rivals round doubleheader. Don't forget Saints Wigan to come, but in the city of Hull it will be the red and whites who celebrate on their Good Friday. They've beaten Hull FC by 34 points to 10.
Well, east and west of Hull reunited upon the final whistle in the first of our Good Friday doubleheader here from Rivals Round of the Betfred Super League on Sky Sports. A convincing win in the end for Hull KR. They led 28-0 at half-time. Hull FC showed something in the second half. Let's start. Sam Tompkins and John Wilkin with analysis. It's the atmosphere at St. Helens that's getting to me here. From a Hull KR perspective, on a day they bade farewell to Phil Lowe, the great Phil Lowe, they've got 2 competition points, they've won a derby game, and they've done it relatively convincingly.
Yeah, I thought they were very, very good first 40. Second 40, a little bit of complacency, forcing the ball a bit, but I imagine these Hull KR players were looking forward to the end of the game. The game was won relatively early. Hull FC came out with a little bit more second half.
They had too much for Hull FC, but the bigger question for Hull KR is how they'll perform when they go higher up the table. They finished 4th in 2023. It'll be that and maybe more that they want in 2024.
Yeah, they're ambitious, and if they want a seat at the top table, I think there's a couple of areas for improvement. One is being ruthless in that second half. You can't relax in big games. And kicking the ball, conversions. Jez Litton is a hooker, he's off the field some of the time. Missed 4 conversions. That might cost them in a big game. But all of that is maybe in the negative column. But let's celebrate what was an exceptional first half from the Robins, who demolished their local rivals Hull FC with ease, didn't they?
Will that be Willie Peters' takeaway, his big takeaway, how good they were in the first 40?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be happy with the scoreline overall, over 80 minutes. You know, they were convincing. They were the best side for huge parts of that game. And it's about getting a win. It's Derby Day. The bragging rights are firmly with the Robins.
6 rounds in, you've beaten Hull FC twice. That's not bad if you're a Robins fan.
Yeah, Mikey Lewis, his dad is in all sorts now, isn't he? His son's won twice, but his favourite team's lost. But yeah, it's a massive day for Hull KR, and it's just on their trajectory towards, you know, that top tier of clubs. You know, for Willie Peters and his men, this is one of those steps that they're going to have to overcome, and they've done so well at the start of this year.
About 600 games of coaching experience separate Tony Smith and Willie Peters. It's Willie that gets the goods today, but plenty for Tony to reflect on as well.
Yeah, a lot to reflect on. They've both got, you know, one's coached 40 games, one's coached 650. They've actually got about the same percentage win rate. It's just this year, it's not looking good for one of the fellas.
Yeah, and it's, look, coaching is such a journey, it's such a difficult profession. Tony Smith, to do that for as long as he has, is an incredible success story. The challenge is, I think as Tony Smith would admit, there are highs, there are lows. He's been in Willie Peters' shoes many times before, where he's had a handsome victory over a rival. Well, he knows exactly what this feels like from both sides. Vastly experienced man.
Does the second 40-minute performance and the 10 points that they scored in this game relieve the pressure somewhat from Tony Smith?
A little bit. They should have had another try as well from McIntosh. He managed to bomb one late in that second half. For a team that doesn't score many points, you know, to have 3 fair-cut chances there, I thought there's certainly some positives.
Yeah, we asked on a poll, Vox Pops before the game, we asked the Hull FC fans, and the majority of them said he needs to be given time to turn this project around, and that's something he's spoken about during the week. Does this project look like it's got legs from what you've seen?
Yeah, I think there's 2 things to consider with this squad. Is this squad anywhere capable of getting in the playoffs? I don't think it is. I don't think you could give this squad 2 years. I don't think it's a playoff standard squad of players. Now, if we talk about projects, then you're talking about recruitment over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That's a long-term thing. And I think Hull FC can turn it around in that period of time. But simply, even if they change the coach, they're not getting in the playoffs with the team they've got.
OK, let's get back to Sul Group Craven Park, scene of Hull KR's Good Friday win against Hull FC. And we can hear from the player of the match, Niall Evans, who's with Danica Preem.
Niall Evans, congratulations. A Hull derby at home under your belt. How was that?
Yeah, good. You know, we knew Hull were having a bit of a tough time at the minute, but we know in a derby anything happens. And, you know, the first half we thought we were patient, we executed well, and you know, we got the results at the end, but that second half, you know, we slipped off. And credit to Hull, they come back and give it a good fight. But, you know, a win's a win, and that was the main thing.
And Willie Peters has got you featuring at full-back. How much are you enjoying it there?
Yeah, you know, I've had a tough couple of years. Everyone knows about my injuries. But I've worked real hard to come back fit, and you know, Willie's shown a lot of confidence in me to, you know, chuck me in, and yeah, I'm just loving it. It's a great group of boys. You know, great fans, great club. I'm just loving it at the minute.
So what do you need to do then? What's the aim for you to keep that full-back shirt and to keep progressing in the season?
Just keep performing. You know, week by week, I'm just training hard, and you know, like we have a real good work ethic, and you know that we all keep each other grounded. So you know, I won't get too ahead of myself. I'll just keep taking it week by week.
And so how are you, the boys? You know, you're progressing through the season. What kind of message is that sending out to the rest of the Super League, do you think? Yeah, you know, I think Hull have built over the last few years, haven't they, and shown that they're a real hard-working team, and you know, we just want that consistency to do it week in, week out, and I think we're building that. You know, it takes time, and you know, it's a long season, so you know, it takes time to build, but yeah, we're pleased with them in it. Well, congratulations, Niall. Go and enjoy the atmosphere. Well done.
Yeah, he was electric, Niall Evalds, after the experiment with Peta Hiku at fullback. It'll be Niall Evalds' shirt to lose now. Right, 28-0 at half-time. And it was going to be all important how Hull KR in particular approached the second half. How it is deafening here at the Totally Wicked Stadium. They've been in here for an hour before kick-off, let me tell you, and singing, chanting. Wigan fans down that side, St Helens fans down that side, and that each have been giving as good as they've got. Let's go into second half analysis. It was a slightly sloppy Hull KR start to the second 40 minutes.
Yeah, it seemed like they came out with the wrong attitude very early on in the game, forcing passes. They looked like they were a little bit unorganised, and it's not an easy thing to do, coming out second half after such a convincing first 40. You know, coming up, giving opportunities, a charge down kick. You know, these are things. They were against the run of play. Hull FC haven't looked convincing in attack, but coming up with things like this, you know, great effort.
And that is the only concern for Willie Peters in the full game, was maybe this 10-15 minute period where they just let Hull FC back into it. Hull FC did well to maybe take some opportunities. Bigger teams would really punish Hull KR in that situation. But a nice finish from Cam Scott, and it was looking maybe promising. That was 2 tries in 5 minutes, wasn't it, for Hull? And we were thinking, could they come back? Well, you know, they couldn't.
Well, Kalepi Tanganoa's try, in case there was any doubt about the final score and the winners, it would be this, putting it to bed. He's been a great pickup for them.
Yeah, he has. He's a very strong running back rower. He's fast. He manages to pick a young player out here, only 18 years old, Jack Charles, who I thought had a very good game. Aside from that, he shouldn't get too down about getting run over by this.
Let's look at his intervention here, Sam.
Yeah, he's a half-back by trade. He's come in and he's got that awareness. He knows he has to score points. He's smart. He looked like he could hold his own, and at just 18 years old, I think he's a positive.
Now, this annoyed you, John.
I want to talk about that. Why are you getting the ball in one hand? You're getting pumped on Good Friday by your neighbours, and that, for me, that's almost showboating. You're putting the ball out in one hand to score a flamboyant finish in a game that you've just been handsomely beaten in. I just don't see what the place. Dive over the line, keep the ball in 2 hands, you're going to score. It's not a headline-grabbing try, mate. Just score it.
Calm down, dear.
Sorry, darling.
OK, let's get back to Sill Group, Craven Park, and hear from the victorious coach, Willie Peters, with Danica.
Congrats, Willie Peters, on the win there. Do you believe there's a bit of a degree of complacency in that second half?
Oh, look, I think, you know, once they scored that try against the run of play, I don't think we handled that well, because I thought we were going okay until then. Like the first half, I think it was like 12-13 minutes before we broke them, and then that was when that try happened. It's more what we did off the back of that not overly happy about, but we'll work on that. So it's a win, it's a derby win, so we've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And a word on Niall Evalds, you know, he featured in nearly every single try there. How great is he going at fullback for you?
Yeah, well, he's a fullback. That's his preferred position and his best position. There's no doubt about that. So I'm really happy for him. He's a great person, and you know, he's a great player as well.
And I asked a similar question to Niall. You're sending out a message now. Your progress through the season has been fantastic. What do you think the rest of the Super League will be looking at for you now?
So I missed that last part.
What do you think the rest of the Super League are watching you now? You've been progressing, so what message are you sending out?
Oh, look, we've got to fix up what we did in that second half first. I think that's initially what we want to improve. You know, I'm proud of the players. I'm really proud of the way we had a couple of losses and how we handled that. But we've still got some improving to do. There's no doubt about that, and you saw that in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And a word on a couple of big games coming up, especially a potential Challenge Cup rematch. Are you focused on that and looking forward into that?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm focused next week. We've got London next week. They're going to want to have their first win, and we're going to make sure it's not against us. So we need to prepare well for that one first, and then we'll look at the Challenge Cup after that.
Thanks a lot, Willie Peters. Congrats on the win.
Cheers.
They will always say they never look past the next game, but we're going to do just that. Of course, London travelling to play them at Sewell Group Craven Park, and as Danica said in that interview, a repeat of last year's Challenge Cup final as they meet the Leopards in the quarter-final. Then have a look at what they've got coming up. Catalan, Wigan and St Helens. I'll put it to you, Sam Tompkins, John Wilkin. After that St Helens game has blown up the final whistle that you'll see here on Sky Sports, you'll know exactly whether Hull KR are challenging the top three or are down just about making the playoff places.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the test for them. I thought what they did in the second half today proved that they're not quite there. You know, they weren't clinical enough when they were in front. The kicking game, last plays, was not good enough. If they came up with that against the sides we're going to see later today, I think they'd come up with a loss. They've got to be much better than that, but they're positive, they're improving. It's round 6, it's a long year yet.
A work in progress, Hull KR, but at the right end of the table. Hull FC tell us they are a work in progress too, but maybe at the wrong end of the table. Here's their coach, Tony Smith.
Hi there, Tony. Unfortunate there on the result. But is there a little bit of something you can take positive from there?
Oh, yeah, our second half was much better. It was... Our first half was just not good enough defensively and not strong enough from the start. And, you know, we got desperate second half and started to defend like a desperate team. That's what you got to do from the start of rugby league games, otherwise you get hurt.
What was your message at half-time? Because obviously they came out a different side.
Yeah, get desperate. You just stop watching the opposition and admiring what they can do, because they're a good team. They're a good team, a terrific attacking team, and they can hurt you. If you stand back watching them, they can play very good, and they did. And we had to get amongst it and earn the right to, get a foothold in the game. But when I saw some of that second half effort, it's encouraging.
Well, it's fair to say they showed resilience. As a coach, how do you keep building that resilience as the season goes on?
Yeah, boy. Keep working hard and keep positive. It's most people, when it gets tough, they fold. And you've got to be a sort of person in rugby league that you've got to be strong when it's tough. And it's the only way forward. And we've got to remain tough and work hard and work through it. And been through these times, as horrible as they are, been through over at this place at one stage and a few others. We had some big hidings at different stages, and it just means you've got to get back to the hard work again, and that can be hard, but that's what we're developing here.
Thank you so much, Tony, and all the best rest of the season.
Thank you.
I will say this, he won't fold. He won't fold. People above him may, fan base may, players may. Tony Smith, with all his experience, won't fold in this difficult season.
No, I don't think he will. I think he's still the man for the job. He's someone that's been through all these experiences before. He's been in change clubs. He knows how to win things. I think, what's the other option for Hull FC? Do they get rid of him? What coach in rugby league anywhere in the world is going to come in and change that Hull FC side at the moment? Tony Smith's the kind of coach they'd have to get in. They'd have to get somebody in like Tony that's got 648 games experience, that's been from the highs and the lows. So I think he's the man for the job. He needs to stick with him.
Just pick up that point, but maybe reference what they've got coming up. Huddersfield, St Helens, Leeds, Warrington, before they face the only side they've beaten this year so far, the London Broncos.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier. Super League fixtures that could really hurt them coming up, and the pressure's mounting, isn't it? And it is. You can feel it. We can sense it. The Vox Pops were relatively patient, talking about time. The fans saying, give him time. Well, sport patience evaporates and disappears very, very quickly. I've seen it. Those messages of patience, and then immediately 2 or 3 weeks down the line, that's gone. Tony Smith's vastly experienced. He's got a proven track record. I think he's got the ability to do something at Hull FC. I just don't think he's got the squad. I think the squad's his problem.
Okay. In summary, we've seen the first of our Good Friday doubleheader here, the Hull KR Hull FC derby. Your takeaway then, Hull FC will be at the end of the season in which part of the table?
Very low down. Very, very low down. Maybe just above London, I think. From what we've seen, first 6 rounds, there's not too many positives. A couple of young lads have come in, showed a bit of promise, but yeah, I can't imagine them climbing the table anytime soon.
For Hull KR?
Hull KR, I think the next month's pivotal. I think if they come through that well, I think we're talking top 3. Realistically, I think they may be 4th or 5th best in the competition on paper. But the trajectory is perfect, isn't it?
Okay, let's just sum up what we've seen from Soul Group Craven Park. Good Friday has belonged to Hull KR. 34-10 they win in the end. They led 28-0 at half-time. Some errant kicking by Jez Litton in the first 40 cost them plenty of points. Mikey Lewis took over the kicking in the second half, and there was a small purple patch for the visiting black and white side. Let's plug that result into the Betfred Super League table. 2 games into rivals round, and Hull KR jump above Leeds, who of course won last night against Castleford. Hull KR now in 5th, Leeds down to 6th, and Hull FC remain unchanged in 10th. Warrington, Wigan and St Helens at the top of the table with the Catalan Dragons, and our focus will be on the Saints and the Warriors. The champions are here at the Totally Wicked Stadium, and they have come, as you would expect, in huge numbers. They're going up against a side that held the title for 4 consecutive years before Wigan's day in the sun at Old Trafford last October. Full match build-up on the way after this.